Talks.
73 it is.
Wow, amazing. It is Mickey Talks, brought to you by Barnes Paving, BARNES paving.com. Barnes Paving, they've been incredible to us. We cannot thank them enough. Without them, we would not be here. MHIC licensed and insured and accredited with the Better Business Bureau. Matt, we keep talking about them every day, multiple times. It's only so much you could say to how great somebody is, but we'll keep saying it every day. If you need paving, driveways, patchwork, undercut, they do everything. No job too big, too small. It is barnespaving.com, BARNES paving.com. Matt, hello.
How are you, my friend?
I'm good, buddy. How you doing?
Doing great. Yeah.
I'm today's like it seems like just a whirlwind. Like I started the day at like 8:05. And we got a lot of plates spinning right now. Yeah, man.
I mean, it's a good thing.
It all comes together at 5 o'clock, doesn't it?
Yeah, somehow.
Somehow we get it here.
Yeah.
So Matt, you came to me last week and you said, I got a guy I want to have on the show. So what happened?
Yeah, so this is a guy that, for people that don't know, I know we have people that listen out of state now too. So I used to do a show called Noise in the Basement on 98 Rock. It was a local music show.
Big deal.
Yeah, it was in this town. It was.
Talk about some of the bands that played it though. They're like,
yeah, people across the country may know Hailstorm now.
Sure.
Who played Noise in the Basement a lot in their early days. We had All Time Low, who's out playing stadiums and outdoor arenas now.
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff. So, and there's a bunch of other bands I could go into that people would probably recognize. And Anthony was a part of that, our guest today. And he was in a band called 7 Days Torn and most recently Rosabella. And I'm super psyched that he is embarking on his solo tour right now. So I want to welcome Anthony Hurley to the show. How are you, my friend?
Great. I'm doing great. Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely, man. It's so good. Look, I'm glad I got to formally meet you. I remember you. You had done the radio show when I was on years ago.
Right.
You refreshed my memory, and I absolutely remember that. So it's good to see you, man.
Yeah.
And, you're still, music is still your life, buddy.
That's it. Yep.
A lot of guys I met on the journey, Matt, you too, they gave it a shot, 5-10 years.
Yeah.
And then they went, oh, well, not for me. Guess I'll go work at the local whatever,
Yeah. Well, it's in your blood, dude, isn't it?
It is. It's just one of those things that it's just who I am. And, I support my family and I do all the things, but I will never stop playing music. I would stop living. So
Anthony's one of those go-getters, man.
I love it.
I met him back in the 7 Days Torn days. His band was called 7 Days Torn. And then his band Rosabella most recently. And you guys put out an album not too long ago, I know.
We did.
And and now you're embarking on this solo tour, How did that all kind of come together for you, man? Is this something you've been wanting to do for a while?
It is. I've been playing music my whole life, and I was in this band. They had multiple albums. We toured the United States with 7 Days Torn, and Rosabella did some small touring as well. But yeah,
And you played with some of those bands that I mentioned too. You played with Hailstorm in the early days.
We were telling the stories like, we toured with Hailstorm when we were playing in front of 10 people in Red Lion, Pennsylvania, and CBGB's and Ballyhoo as well. It's just crazy, man. I've played with everybody and anybody that's come through this town, I feel like, at some point. And we're a small knit community. Yeah, there's a ton of musicians, but the guys that last forever, there's only a few of us that are, around. And
I'll tell you, dude, I not to cut you off, but I've been doing this kind of stuff since I'm 16 years old, right? Meeting guys that were doing it. And it's amazing how many people I have met along the way. Like, it's staggering. And when you realize here at my age now, looking back, that you're so right. There's so very few that are still doing it and doing it right. There are plenty of guys that are, weekend guys. They play in a band on Saturday, whatever. And that's awesome. I think that's amazing. But guys that are doing it, still writing, still thinking about music as an art form and doing it, it's very few.
Yeah, it's like last year, for example, I wrote 73 songs. That's to some people that's not a
Wow.
lot, but
Well, I'll tell you what,
it's
dude,
absurd to some people.
in all
And-
fairness, that's about 73 more than I wrote. You know what I mean?
But the way I
Or
look
could
at it,
write.
the way I look at it is, I pursue greatness, and I want to be a better songwriter constantly. And if you want to do something and do it right, you have to be writing every single day.
Yeah, of course.
And to Mickey's point, Anthony is not only writing great songs and a bunch of great songs, but he's juggling a family life and pursuing this career. I mean, how often are you down in Nashville now?
I'm trying to trend to a quarterly. I have some cool stories. I don't want to bore you guys with everything, but I know we're here to talk about me.
Yeah.
But,
Well, that's why you're here, because I'm
So-
sick of talking to him.
So basically, after COVID, I was like, I want to pursue this being a songwriter thing and an artist too. My wife was like, you should do something where that highlights your voice. I was playing rock and roll for the longest time, and while I was playing rock and roll, I always got almost like the Nickelback thing. He sounds country. I'm too country for rock, and I'm too
Rock for country.
right? So
Yeah.
I've been that guy my whole life. So, and I write everything on acoustic guitar. So, when I started my solo career, I was like, I'm just going to do Americana, rock, soul, what comes from me naturally. I'm not going to try to pigeon myself. And anyway, so I started going to Nashville, and the first time I went there, I had booked a couple shows, writer rounds, just fresh to town, right? I felt like a kid again, literally. I know people here, but I didn't know anybody there. I tried out for Tootsie's, the world famous Tootsie's.
Yeah.
And, did that audition, went great. They asked me back. They asked me to Kid Rock's bar, and they have like a school of rock there.
Dude, I just went to Nashville. Was that a year ago? A little more than a year ago for the only time. That city is incredible.
Yes.
Like, I love it, dude.
People think of, and it there's so much country history there too.
Yeah.
But I mean, every genre, all the labels and studios and everybody's down there now. It's a music city for everybody. I mean,
LA is dead for the music world.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
dead. Nobody
Right.
cares. And I'm glad, because that scene needed to be killed, that Los Angeles music scene.
Yeah.
And now, like, the one thing I think, I don't know enough about country music. I'm not going to lie, but I do know enough about pop culture. And when I was down there, the authenticity is real in Nashville. Like, the artists are artists. Yes, there are models there that can sing, that just want to be famous. But you walk into any bar, and the guy or girl on stage is as real as it gets.
well, there might be somebody in the corner of that little tiny dive bar too, right?
No question.
Did you see that a lot while you were down there?
Well, I felt like, after that happened, and they invited me to Kid Rock's bar, they immediately started booking me, almost like they're like, you're
Wow.
a cog in the
You're in.
machine.
You're in.
Yeah. So they booked me the next day at a place called Rippy's, and the booking agent calls me, and she's like, I'm going to need you Wednesday. Blah, blah, blah. And at that point, I was like, I'm a fraud. Like,
Yeah.
I live in Maryland, you know,
Right.
but I did consider the fact that I think it's two different worlds. And I met some musicians in Broadway. They're playing this trip, and they said, you can get sucked into that, right?
And make a ton of money.
Make a ton of money. I met this guy, Llewellyn. God
Yeah.
bless him. He's amazing. He looks like, big beard, big 6'2" guy, amazing barreling voice. He makes a lot of money down there. But what can happen to you is that you get stuck in that grinder, and you start losing your focus on being an artist and doing your original thing. And next thing you know, you're just playing wagon wheel like 7 times a week. So I think what I'm trying to navigate is a happy medium, exposure, doing the thing, but also like concentrating.
Playing your tunes,
Correct.
playing your music.
Yes,
Yeah.
as an artist. And that's the struggle. That's where you're doing the writer rounds. You're doing the shows that maybe particular people aren't coming to just party. They're coming to listen.
Yeah. So this, we're going to play your music video in a little bit, which is awesome, man. And it's a
Thanks.
great song.
Thank you.
You mentioned Howie from Ballyhoo earlier. We just
Yep.
had him on the show not too long ago.
Yep.
So how much have you guys been working together?
So a lot. Well, not Howie, not a lot, but I've been working with local guys a lot. Let me just give a shout out to Howie. Because
Yeah.
Howie, I just wanted to give a shout out in general to how much talent is in Maryland that people don't acknowledge. Okay. So like Howie from Ballyhoo to me is one of the best songwriters in the United States.
Love him.
And he's a Class A guy, and he did such a good job. If you listen to my single, just for the fact that just the quality of the tune, he's doing great stuff. I know he's doing production work. So if you're an artist out there and you're looking to work with, good producers, I know it might be hard to come by. Another guy I'm working with is Ryan, the guitar player from Ashes Remain, which is another band that nobody acknowledges around here.
Well, can I talk about them real quick?
Sure.
Ashes Remain was a band that did Noise in the Basement back in the day as well.
Sure.
And they did Christian rock. But to listen to their music, it sounded like the stuff that 98 Rock was playing in rotation all day, you know? And these guys went on to be humongous.
They're huge. And they still are.
They still are, I should say. Within the Christian genre. I mean, they're playing massive, like 40,000 people festivals.
You guys are hinting around the real elephant in the room, which is that there's a huge difference between fame and success.
Correct.
And famous people are also successful, but there are millions of successful people that are not famous.
Yeah.
And fame is a dirty word to an artist, because every artist in my heart is a narcissist with low self-esteem. I mean, we have to get this out, and we need you to see it and hear it. But here's the weird part. We need you to like it. Like, it's this weird sort of give and take in an artist's mind. And I think that, like you're saying, you get there and you get caught up in that cog of, you can make $1,000 in a couple days playing those places. These numbers make no sense, but you make $1,000 and it's easy and you live a good life and you're playing your songs. But then the next thing you know, 10 years went by, you had a good life, but your music's still sitting there.
Correct.
Did nothing. So
you feel validated too.
You were successful.
Yeah. You feel validated. Like when I went to Tootsie's and I tried it, and the crowd, I mean, it was packed and everybody's like, yeah. It felt like what's the movie?
Debbie Does Dallas. No, I'm kidding. Different movie, I think.
No, the one with the arrow and the girl with the arrow.
Oh, Hunger Games.
Hunger Games, right? Yeah. Like at the end of the guy comes up and he's like, "What do you think about this greenhorn?" And everybody's like, "Yeah!" And he's like, "You're hired, son." And I felt like I was like,
"That really happened to you, huh?"
Yes. And I'm like, "What does that even mean?" Next thing you know, I could just see myself, and like you're saying, you always seek validation. You're thinking, could I make it on Broadway?
Yeah.
And then you start doing it, and you're like, okay, what's the next thing? And anyway, I don't mean to ramble on.
I didn't mean to sidetrack you, because I went off on and told people who Ashes Remain were. So continue on you worked with one of those guys.
I always said this, like if I ever get the opportunity, and I want to just take the opportunity to acknowledge people that have helped me and the people that are really just amazing in this town. So again, Ryan from Ashes Remain is the guitar player. It's just an amazing human being. He's a beast. He's an amazing human being as well. Is one of the most charitable people that I've ever met in my life. He does production. So if again,
I'm going to need his number if he's that charitable.
And I'm sure he'd be happy to work with you. I mean, the guy is super nice and amazing. Super talented. So yeah, if you're a young artist that's looking to do demo work and stuff like that, I know that Howie loves to do that stuff and does it at a super high level. And Ryan from Ashes Remain.
And you know what happens? And I remember this quite well, not for myself, but my friends, because I was more of the comedy thing, but I was so inside the music part of it. And when my friends that went on to be very successful were young, and there were the guys that were before them that were really good and starting to produce, it's not that there was a lot of intimidation from that guy. He don't even know me. He's not going to produce me.
Right.
And it's like, you would be amazed if you're a young kid. I don't mean kid, a young artist.
Yep.
And you want to work with a producer. Believe me when I tell you, just write these guys and say, hey, I'm brand new. Like, here's what a producer like Howie doesn't want is me going to him and going, Howie, I want you to produce this, but I don't want you to tell me a damn thing.
Right.
I want you to do what I tell you.
Yeah.
That they want to take an artist that is vulnerable and open and new and say, have you ever thought about doing this? Have you ever considered maybe not using an electric guitar here and an acoustic guitar or adding a harmony here? And all of a sudden, this young guy is exposed to this seasoned vet who not only is doing it and getting paid, but he's giving you the gift back.
Sure.
It's so I'm talking directly to the new artist. Don't be afraid. Reach out to these people.
But no, also, and again, hopefully I'm not over speaking here, but just know when you're ready. If obviously you're not going to go to people like this that when you're just starting out.
Yeah, your fourth gig.
Be ready. Be ready. Be have your songs well rehearsed. Your everything. So when you go to a person like that, they want to work with people like you're saying, new artists. But they have their stuff together.
Yeah, have your stuff together.
Yes, and you have talent.
Moral of the story for sure.
And you have to be talented. Obviously, So I know I wrote some notes down here because I love to acknowledge all the people that have helped me throughout. The guy who shot my video, his name is Kenny Kingsborough,
which looks amazing, by the way. We're going to talk more about that, of course.
Sure. Yeah. And Street Bike Tommy for being in the video. I love Street Bike Tommy. If anybody doesn't know who he is, he's from Nitro Circus. And,
one of the funniest, coolest dudes I ever met, and batshit crazy.
Yes.
But in like that scary fun guy batshit crazy way. Yeah. Like you want to watch him. You don't always want to be next to him, right? You know what I mean?
We've had some nights.
Yeah.
So you've had you say you've been writing up a storm. You have like 73 songs.
Yeah.
Is the goal even an album anymore, or is it just is it all singles that you do? What are you going to do with all the music that you have?
It's a good question. And as the music business is evolving, some people, everybody has their own take on it. Because I felt like I've restarted my life and reset on Instagram, Facebook. I started with 0, a year and a half ago, where my old band had 16,000 or whatever it is. But I don't care anymore, man. I really don't.
Yeah.
When I say I wrote 73 songs, 20 might be good. And I needed to write those 73 in order to get to those 20.
Where do you get all that inspiration, man?
It's hard. But you know what? Another thing is, too, if I find myself writing about things that are very contrived, very like trying to write a radio single, sorry.
Yeah.
I will stop myself immediately. And sometimes you got to dig deep. Like I write it sometimes about very personal things, but everyone can sniff out a fake song. Everyone can sniff out if you're just trying to make a rhyme scheme that sounds like something else, So I also took some classes, to be honest with you. I humbled myself. I've been doing this for 20 years. I took classes in how to be a better songwriter. And
that's cool.
And you also, listening to you talk, whenever I hear an artist talk about anything, whether they're a songwriter, a comedian, an author, whatever it is that they do, a painter, a sculptor, when you listen to them describe not only why they do it, how they do it, you can almost invert those two things, because how is why and why is how.
Yeah.
And whenever I love to listen in great detail, because every word to an artist, when you're describing it, is part of it. You are paying just as much attention to what you're saying when you're describing your art as you are to when you're creating your art.
Yeah.
So listening to you talk, when people ask that question of an artist, where do you get your inspiration? Usually all you have to do is listen to them, and you hear it in them. They're already inspired. You're already inspired. Now, that inspiration to me sometimes comes and goes.
Yeah. And
sometimes it hits you when you go, holy shit, I'm writing 73 songs in a month.
Yeah.
And like you said, 30 of them are fantastic, and you're just so incredible, and everything's wonderful. And then the next month comes and you go, I don't feel like doing shit.
Right.
And there's not a rhyme or reason.
Well, when I get into creative stuff, man, I end up getting to this place where I'm like, that's it. There's nothing else left to do. Every single time I feel like
the key
writer's block. There's nothing else coming.
Yeah.
But then it does. Yeah. And then I feel like that again.
Yeah.
The next time I try to create
who's
something.
the guy? Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
Talked about it's a faucet, right? You turn the faucet on, and you got to get all that muddy water out before the clear water starts. And that muddy water is repetition.
Yeah.
If you stop when you're uninspired, you're not like practicing your craft. So many times I have the guitar right next to me at all times, and I force myself 2 hours a day. And a lot of times, I rewrite the same song, or I can't tell you how many times I show my wife, I'm like, this is a hit. And she's like, yeah, but that's already somebody else's song. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay.
Well, George.
Well, at least I know it's a hit.
and to be able to relate like how art relates across the board, no matter what kind of artist you are. George Carlin once said, I wake up every day and I write and I write and I write. Then I stop and then I have dinner. I hit a joint. Then I go back and I delete all the shit.
Right.
And then I punch up the good stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And somebody said to him, you write every day, like at your desk? And he goes, well, it sure beats getting up and going outside. But the point he was making is that that's what he is.
Mm-hmm.
That's his job. A carpenter, to make a living, wakes up every day, cuts wood, puts it together, and builds
Time
shit.
to make the donuts.
Time
man.
to make the donuts. And I think a lot of people love the idea of art from the performing aspect. It looks beautiful on stage.
Yeah.
But before that stage, there's a whole bunch of shit that goes into it.
I mean, not just the creative part of it, but if you're really doing it right, like Anthony has done in his projects. I mean, you're marketing the band. You're going out and telling people about the band and getting people to your shows. It's a long road. It's a long way to the top
if you want
to rock and roll.
Damn right it is.
It's funny too, man. It's like people always treat the musicians as the lowest rung on the.
I disagree. Comedians.
Oh, okay.
Listen, it goes like this.
It's all about perspective.
It's all like, here's the order of entertainers in the world: carnival ride operators. Above them is radio DJs.
Right.
Above them is strippers.
What about hypnotists?
Hold on. Above them is strippers.
Right.
Above the stripper, enter the comedians and hypnotists. Above them is the musicians and actors.
Right,
and above them is the painters and sculptors. I don't even include the photographers because I don't understand any of that shit. But I would imagine they're somewhere in there.
Yeah.
But
you know what I mean?
It's funny though, like, I've matured in my, age and stuff, and I'm used to it at this point. But it's just funny how people treat you differently as soon as you walk in with a guitar case and stuff like that. But,
yeah.
But I always, I have a song about it actually, but
wrote a song about it.
Want to hear it. Exactly. But this is like it's harder to forget than to forgive, right? I'm quick to forgive everyone in my life.
Me too.
That's the way I am.
But I don't forget
it's
anything.
Hard, it's hard to forget, right?
Yeah.
And I even try to forget, but I can't. The way you treat someone or the way that they made you feel or whatever, it like sticks with you, right?
But
so,
I've learned, and I'm just going to challenge that philosophy because it's beautiful.
Yeah.
But to take it a step deeper, you're saying you try to forget. Well, I think what people confuse is that is what forgiveness is. You know what happened.
Right.
And you're saying, okay, it's okay.
I'm not going to let this burden me anymore.
So what I've learned to do is saying, I'll never forget that happened. But the fact that did happen and I was allowed to repair this relationship or this whatever, and now I'm good with this person, I'm glad that I don't forget, because to me, that shows human grace. That is the thing that makes us all go, okay, I'll forgive you because I've done shit.
Right.
When I'm like, God, forget I did it. I didn't mean it.
Exactly.
So I don't hang up on that part anymore.
Yeah.
About forgetting it.
Well said, man.
I just enjoy that I know it, and then I enjoy the good that came from it.
Right.
And if it's still anger that comes from it, well, then I haven't forgiven.
Right. I have to work on the forgiveness part of it.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that's a beautiful concept you wrote, man.
Yeah, man. Thank
For
you.
real.
Thank you.
What inspired, like as a young, how old were you when you picked up the guitar?
So maybe like, let me see. I guess I was like 14.
What were you listening to?
Green Day. So Green Day, like, I'll tell you.
Matt knows how I feel about Green Day. To me,
okay.
they're more important than the Foo Fighters.
You like Green Day?
They're more important than the Foo Fighters for your generation.
For sure.
Yeah.
The reason Green Day was made music accessible to kids my age.
No question.
Right? So like I was listening to my dad's music or like bluegrass, and it all sounded like, it looked like Chinese when somebody was playing piano.
Sure.
Stevie Wonder, all this.
Yeah.
Here comes Green Day playing 3 power chords and great melodies. Of course, it's a lot harder than it seemed, but to a kid, I was like,
easy. I can do that. Right. Yeah.
And that's what made me pick up the guitar was, I mean, I loved Stevie Wonder and Willie Nelson. That's my roots. But
they give you the confidence to do it.
Yes, I would say Green Day. Actually, I was like, I can do that. I'm gonna buy a crappy guitar and try that. And of course, it was probably awful for years and years after that. But yeah,
I heard a really cool. I don't remember who it was. It might be. It wasn't Billy Idol, but it was someone that came right after the punk movement, right? And somebody said, you know, what were your influences? And he goes, well, it's funny you asked, in his British accent. He said, it's funny you asked me that. He said, my influences were the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, the Who, the Kinks. He goes down like every guy he's supposed to. And they go, well, your music sounds nothing like that. He goes, you asked me who influenced me.
Yeah.
Who inspired me was the Sex Pistols and the Clash.
Right. Yeah.
And I can't remember who it was, but he basically said, I had a love of music because of that stuff.
Right.
But this told me the kind of music I wanted to bring forth.
Right? Yeah, that's interesting, man, because, we had this conversation on the show not too long ago where we said, you look at some of your favorite artists and you hear what their favorite artists were, and you're like, what? Really?
Yeah, man.
You're surprised by it. But for you mentioned earlier that, and I heard this too, and especially when I was listening to this latest music video, you're right. There's a little bit of country. There's a little bit of rock in there. I mean, are there country influences in your?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
So to be fair, this single is just one of the many songs that I wrote last year. And what I do is I'll go to a venue, and I've always wanted to do this, like play covers and sprinkle in originals. Now, when you do this you have to do it the right way, right? And I implore other artists, you have to read the room. You have to, if people are not in the mood for that, you know what I mean? You have to know when to do it and when not to do it. And also another thing I do is I talk to people. If again, reading the room, if it's a dinner crowd or it's a private party, obviously it's different, but I will tell stories and stories from my heart, from like why I wrote this song or what.
Yeah.
I make it short and sweet, but it gets people interested in what you're about to say. And you hit them with that hard, hit them with 2 mega hits, and then you come back. And so anyway, long story short, to answer your question, this is one of the songs that every time I play it, people are like, dude, that's awesome. That's a great song. So this song doesn't necessarily sound like anything else I'm doing. A friend of mine told me, he's like, don't worry about it, man. And he's like, it's you. And eventually when you put together a body of work, it's just going to encompass you.
No, dude, it works. Whatever it is, it's working, man.
You.
And it's, I don't want to call it Americana. I don't want to call it.
I call it budget soul.
Budget soul.
Man, I think what you're talking about, ultimately, if you really get deep about it, we're all sponges as artists. Well, I don't care what anybody says. When I hear artists go, I don't look at any other art. I don't listen to any other music. Right. I don't. First of all, that's nonsense.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
It's complete nonsense. What I understand what they're saying. If they don't let it get in their head and affect what they do.
Right.
I get it. But when your love of art, of other artists, of all that, is what made you the artist you are.
Absolutely.
And so I love listening to an artist talk about all of this, right? And so my next question for you, are we going to play something right now? I was
going to ask you, should we do the news and then we'll tease it?
No,
tease it and then we'll play it?
I want to give him all the attention because I'm really enjoying this. Let's play the song.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that a little more, and then we'll do our shit. But I want to give this.
Of course.
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, I didn't know if we just wanted to tease a little bit and then do it, but we'll get into it right now.
All right, let's see how it feels.
So let's talk about this. Tell us about the song and the video real quick.
Okay, so the song is called Love Drunk. One of the stories I tell when I play is like to get people just to look up or actually pay attention because nobody cares about anything these days. I was like, I wrote a song and the parallel is like, I can't get anyone to be as make me feel as love drunk as you do, but I have that like little parallel with using as many alcohols as I can. So somebody counted it one time. It's a lot of different alcohols, right? And it's like a metaphor. It's I just wanted to write a fun song that feels like summertime, and I think I captured that feeling. You know what I mean? I think
you did too, man. Yeah. And your beautiful family is in this video as well.
Thank you. By the way, I'll get divorced.
Yeah.
Thank you to my beautiful wife, Stephanie Hurley. By the way, she wrote a children's book. It's called High Five God. I just wanted to promote her real quick.
Was it called High Five God?
High Five God. It's a Christian children's book.
That's awesome.
And it's me and her are just constantly pushing each other to pursue our dreams. And I just love her to death.
That's awesome.
She's the reason that I'm doing this. So I just wanted to plug her. So yeah, this video was shot at the Red Eye. Yep.
You said something too important. We're talking about art stuff and artists, Matt.
Yep.
And Matt, this applies to you as well. And me. all of us that do this for a living or attempt to, we understand the burden that it puts on those around us that love us.
Yep.
And to hear you talk about your wife that way, and I've heard Matt talk about his wife, and I've had women in my life that are incredibly supportive. If you were dating an artist and you yourself are not one, I know it's difficult, but I will say this: your support to them means more than any money.
Correct.
It is the word muse. I want everyone to look up the word muse.
Correct.
Matt, I'm sure it's your wife. I'm sure it's your wife. I have had many muses in my life. I have muses now, and they are so unbelievably important to the process. And when that connection is strong,
yes,
the art is explosive.
You're so right. Even a business owner, if he's having problems with his wife, you know what I mean? Your wife, you need
or
that.
husband. I don't want to make this a male-dominated thing, but yes.
Absolutely. And I totally agree with that, even with my writing, man. If we're arguing or we're not having a good week, it affects me.
Of course, man. Yeah. We carry it everywhere we go.
Yes.
So it's beautiful that you talk that way about your wife.
Yeah.
Man. That's amazing.
All right, go ahead and intro this video here. We'll get into it.
So this is, my name is Anthony Hurley. Once again, for people that don't know, you can find me Anthony Hurley Music, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all the places that destroy humanity. And
I love that.
And this is my new single, Love Drunk.
I just can't find no one to get me as love drunk as you do. And I've tried whiskey and bourbon, but I just keep learning. You're my only proof. Hey, baby, won't you drop me a line? 'Cause I've been out here just wasting time, trying to find somebody just like you. I've tried old-fashioned and Jean Harlow, classic Manhattan and Natty Bow, but it just don't do anything for me. If you wanna take it slow, pour me something beautiful, 'cause I can't drink this rock of whiskey no more. Whiskey sours and Moscow mules, and I'm so tired of all these fools. I'm out here just waiting on the real thing. I just can't find no one to give me as love drunk as you do. And I've tried whiskey and bourbon, but I just keep learning. You're my only proof. Rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel, and give me something I can feel. 'Cause Jameson and Jack just left me here. If you wanna take it slow, pour me something beautiful. This southern comfort ain't so comfortable. I just can't find no one to give me as love drunk as you do. And I've tried whiskey and bourbon, but I just keep learning. You're my only proof. I just can't find no one to give me as love drunk as you do. And I've tried whiskey and bourbon, but I just keep learning. You're my only proof. I said I just can't find no one to give me as love drunk as you do. And I've tried tequila and dark rum, even beer from a shotgun.
Great, dude.
That is awesome, man. And
Matt-
wait a little bet here too, man. Is that Red Eyes Dock Bar? Is that where you shot that?
It is, and that was
Yeah.
because of Street Bike Tommy thinking Ivano. I think it's Ivano.
It's definitely Ivano.
Ivano.
Don't screw that up.
Yeah, Ivano. Thank you to Ivano for allowing me to shoot there, and that was Howie singing on the end choruses.
Yeah.
I was going to
And
ask you about the
Ryan-
other part of the band. Who's playing
So-
all the other instruments?
So that's and Brian from Ashes Remain played that solo. And,
Oh.
dude, he is. I'm telling you, it's funny because he plays in a hard rock band.
Yeah.
But he's way more than that. I mean, he
So
can
many
play,
of them are.
He can play piano, and he was
Yeah.
like, I had done that song with Howie, and because I work with Ryan so closely too, and I showed him the single, and I was like, dude, what do you think? And he sends it back to me with that solo on it. He was like, sorry, dude, I just couldn't help myself. And I'm like, dude, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's great, man.
He played it with a telly. You know, he knew the assignment. Like I said, that
Yeah.
he didn't
He
play.
knew the feel. He knew
Correct.
the vibe. He knew everything. He's an artist.
Yes, and like Ben from Ashes Remain too, the drummer.
Yeah, he's a
He
beast
yeah,
too,
he,
man.
he is a beast. But they play.
Oh, so that's
hard
Ben
rock.
playing drums on your
No,
song?
not on that
Oh.
one, but on some of my other stuff that I'm
Yeah.
about to put out a whole record and stuff. He played, muted drums to sound. I have a song that sounds like a doo-wop song.
Yeah.
Kind of 1950s
Yeah.
doo-wop. He didn't play it. Like some drummers would have just come in and played whatever they do.
Yeah.
But he knew the assignment. He was like, "Oh, I hear what you're trying to do here," and did it. And that shows maturity as well. Like a lot of
That's so cool, man.
Yeah,
And where can people get that song if they want to download it right now?
Yes, it's everywhere. Music is being streamed.
So
And
iTunes.
yes,
Yeah.
iTunes, Spotify, all the things. But if you really want to be generous, you would either buy it or
Yeah, man.
go on YouTube and
Yeah.
leave a comment. These are the things that help us as
Sure.
artists. Spotify, it's nice and everything, but and again, I don't even know how to navigate this music business. I'm just trying to buy.
You're doing it, dude. Listen,
thank you.
listen. If it's one thing I learned this year, in fact, in the last 3 months, just fucking do it.
Yep.
It figures
I couldn't agree
figures
more.
itself out, dude. If you're good,
Yep.
somebody will help you make it great.
Yeah. Thank
Matt
you.
took my dumb ass that can talk and make people laugh and help me make a show
Yep.
and keep us organized and detailed. And dude, you're a brilliant songwriter.
Thank you, man.
Don't overthink it, brother.
You
know what I
I
mean?
just wanted to say to you guys too how inspiring it is to us as we talk to like other artists. It's inspiring that you guys are pursuing this. This show is great. You're funny, and you work off each other, yin and yang.
Yeah.
It's going to be successful. Don't even speak any other way. I
Oh,
know it's
dude.
going to be successful.
Thank you.
I
I
know
mean, we couldn't do it without your
You guys
people's
are great.
support.
Yep.
It's amazing.
You guys are great.
I'm really, man, when Matt told me you were coming on, it's interesting because I've done this a long time. You know what I mean? And sometimes you meet artists and they're not great doing what we're doing right now. They're
Right.
great songwriters. They're
Right.
great actors, but they're not good at shooting the shit.
Right.
And when you have them sitting in a chair for 2 hours, it can be brutal.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And I am thoroughly enjoying
Thanks,
this
man.
conversation.
Yeah, man.
Totally
Of
agree.
in the
course.
show,
Didn't I
and-
tell you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I said,
and-
I said he's not only a great artist, but he's great on the mic too.
Yes.
I'm
So,
a performer,
yeah.
man, and
Well,
you are
dude,
too. And
we're in showbiz.
yeah, it's showbiz, exactly.
We're
when
in
I'm playing,
showbiz.
when I'm playing these solo shows, I have to entertain the people, and it's so funny. You have to read the crowd too, and I'm sure as a comedian, I couldn't even imagine what that's like. Playing
either.
different things. Yeah. I was watching a thing on Stavros,
Yeah.
playing like what's the crab place? God, I'm gonna.
Talking about Jimmy's.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was doing early shows at Jimmy's and
Yeah.
having to read the crowd. Can you imagine? Like,
Yeah.
Yep, I can.
Well, you
believe
can,
me.
yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
I
So-
told Mickey this a while ago. He did the Noise in the Basement after party with about 12 drunk people at the end
Yes.
of the night.
Yeah.
So you learn to be
yeah.
a chameleon and like
Yeah.
how to adjust, and you know what I'm saying. But
Uh-huh.
You know what kills me is I want to reach out to Stavros, but I don't really know him, right?
Yeah.
But I'm like so proud of what
Yeah.
he's done,
Yeah, for sure.
and like I would love for him to come do the show, but I realize to him it's like, what? Why am I doing that? Right? But I
I'll
just,
see if he'll take my call, man.
yeah, I mean, honestly, like I just want to let that guy know, like, as another Baltimore guy, like, way to go, dude.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Like,
Killing it.
I watch him on Tires. Have you watched that yet?
It's
my
hilarious.
wife loves
Hilarious.
that show,
Dude,
man.
that show is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like old school,
Yeah.
30-year ago funny TV shows.
right, sure.
Yeah,
You know, all the political correctness is gone.
Yeah.
It's just great comedy.
Oh,
um,
for sure.
But Stavros to me, like that, like when you talk about other musicians and stuff around town, right? I feel the same way about comedians. Like when I see them, I'm like, it's inspiring to me.
For sure.
You know,
sure.
I love it. I'd love to talk to that guy.
Sure.
You know, Stavros, but dude, this has been great so far. I'm
Thank
really
you.
enjoying it, man.
Thank you.
So
Not like he's blowing it up too much. Now it's gonna.
No, you know what we're gonna do right now? We're gonna jump right into it. This is a little thing we call That's the Facts, Matt. I don't know if you know this. There's been a big story going on. We've been following the P. Diddy thing. I'm hoping Matt's got some details on this because I stopped looking today. I was so irate. However, BarnesPaving.com bringing it to you. It's the best news show that we do. It's called That's the Facts, Matt. What do we got?
So a little update on the Sean Diddy Combs case here. Just a recap, yesterday, the judge presiding over the federal sex trafficking and racketeering trial decided against setting bail on Wednesday evening, which I think a lot of people are breathing a sigh of relief over.
Yep.
Earlier in the day, Combs was convicted on 2 counts of transporting individuals across state lines for prostitution. That's the lesser of the charges. He was acquitted of 3, the more serious charges, and he'll face a maximum of 20 years behind bars, I think, for the combined prostitution charges that he's up for.
And he won't do that.
No, he's going to probably do 12 years.
So this is what they're saying here. The judges floated October 3rd as the day the sentencing will be announced. There's a remote hearing set for Tuesday to lock down the date, which Combs' legal team wants to happen sooner than that. But prosecutors' preliminary calculation is a prison sentence of at least, they're saying, 51 to 63 months.
Oh, okay. Oh, months?
This is based on federal guidelines.
That's 6 years.
No, it's 4 or 5 years, basically. And, he's going to probably get time served for this time. He's in jail right now.
Sure.
He'll be there till October 3rd.
Oh, this is disgusting.
It's a scam.
I'll say it. I hope something bad happens to him. For real. I hope he gets struck by lightning. I told you yesterday.
Oh,
I
man.
just this is that part of freedom and liberty and justice that sucks. When you have a really fair legal system that goes out of its way to protect you, sometimes it protects really shitty people. That's what's happening.
Did anybody notice too that he's no longer able to do the hair dye, so he immediately became his age?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, it's hilarious. But that thing just.
I know, man. You can't let stuff like that affect you because it is corruption and it's. I think it's a big distraction. Who knows what tentacles he had in with the police? And it's just I don't know. Sometimes if I think about stuff like that too much,
you get freaked out.
Yeah,
I'm the same way.
Yeah. So it's
we'll see what happens, man. I mean, if the guy gets out in 3 or 4 years, whatever it is, I mean, you got to wonder how much of an influence he's going to have on new artists after hearing all this.
I think
the music industry.
No,
it's got to be done.
Yeah, I mean, who would take him seriously now?
Maybe Kanye.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I think both of them are heading off a cliff anyway.
Yeah.
So the European Space Agency spotted an extragalactic object heading towards Mars's orbit. Did you see this thing?
Yes.
What the hell is going on? How did I miss this?
Now you're speaking
So
my language.
it's this little thing right here.
I see it.
In the circle.
Yep.
New object, first seen on Tuesday by the Atlas Sky Survey in Chile. It is described as likely the largest interstellar visitor yet. This object is roughly the size of Manhattan. They're saying.
Dang, that's the planet record right there.
Yeah. Roughly 10 to 25 miles wide. It's speeding in from beyond Jupiter on a hyperbolic path that will keep it well away from Earth, thankfully. Scientists are still debating whether it is a rocky asteroid or an icy comet. They're thinking it's a comet, though, because they note that it has a faint tail and a fuzzy appearance, indicating the presence of gas surrounding it.
That's crazy.
You remember the last thing that jumped through our solar system, right? From outside the solar system was that Oumuamua.
Who?
Yes, Oumuamua. It was like a big.
Oh, the big. I know exactly.
Whatever.
Yeah,
Here it is right here. This thing right here.
Yep.
Some people thought it was like a space shuttle.
I thought it was a space turd. I didn't know what.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
But it's the creepy thing about it was, and why it raised flags for people. It sped up as it left our solar system.
Right.
Many thought it was an alien spacecraft, like Anthony just said, and there is a Harvard professor who wrote an entire book about this and his theory that it was an alien spacecraft.
If I could enter my incredibly important opinion on the matter, and with all the schooling that I have on the subject, could it also be because in our solar system, the sun does have a gravitational pull on everything, and that once it releases from the sun's gravitational pull, It moves at its own.
I mean, it sounds
No. What it did was it sped like as it was leaving our solar system. It was like it accelerated,
Right,
Like
because
it had its own propulsion.
But what I'm saying is maybe that happened because the sun's gravitational pull that was
Like
pulling
whipping
it.
it around or something.
Well, just basically let go of it, and it was able to. At that point, it was far enough away that the sun wasn't pulling it in.
I don't know. I didn't read the book. I kind of do want to read the book to see what he says.
Now I'm going to find out if I'm smart or not.
Can I say something just real quick? I've always wondered, like, why haven't we, like, you know, Elon Musk is always talking about going to Mars.
Yeah.
Why haven't we invested in like some giant laser that like protects the planet? Like you would think.
I think we have it.
Maybe you're right.
I do.
In Antarctica,
Well,
it would just come
about-
out of it and just shoot that thing.
Talking about the Golden Dome is going
Well,
up now. There's some stuff up there, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I think we have a well prepared.
Yeah, because you would think that's
laser-guided-
the logical first thing to do, right?
Yes.
We've
Before
had a
we go to
Space
Mars.
Force, I think, since the 90s,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
They've
they-
been building stuff, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
Trump made it official,
Yeah.
the Space Force,
Yeah.
but it basically was a tentacle of the
Of the
military.
Air Force.
Yeah, forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. It's like,
Trust
how much
me.
stuff do we not know about?
Dude,
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
I guarantee you, there's more we don't know than we do.
Yeah.
As
Of
far
course.
as technology.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
wait till
yeah.
AI gets a hold of some of this shit.
Well, you know, there's all kinds of whistleblowers that have been coming out now, and they talk about these craft that they've discovered from out of this world.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they've
We're not
succeeded at reverse engineering some of this stuff.
We are not far from disclosure.
Yeah.
We're not far from full disclosure. I think that's maybe why we're trying to get the world to settle down right now.
Yeah.
Maybe the U.S. is telling everybody, look, quit fucking around. We got to get together. There's some important shit.
Some bigger stuff. Like,
Bigger stuff we
like
got to deal with.
Reagan
Yeah,
said, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is how far we've come, gentlemen. Chuck E. Cheese is now expanding into adult arcades.
Jeez.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
You should probably tell him offline so he could absorb this information.
Thank you, you giant rat, for doing what I've said for 30 years.
Chuck
Like, why
E.
don't they just
Cheese.
put cool games in here? I'd never leave.
Quick quiz. What does the E in Chuck E. Cheese stand for?
Edward.
Nope.
Enough.
It's entertainment.
Oh,
It's
entertainment.
Chuck Entertainment Cheese.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. Richard Cheese was way better.
Right.
Remember
Yes,
him?
100%,
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Chuck E. Cheese is leveling up with a new adults-only concept, Chuck's Arcade, now open in 10 U.S. malls, and retro games like Donkey Kong and Mortal Kombat, alongside newer favorites like Halo. Each location features throwback artwork, animatronic hosts, and the chance to win prizes or buy nostalgic merch.
I love it.
Some even offer pizza, beer, and wine, making it part arcade, part casual hangout. The launch follows a major post-bankruptcy revamp and gives longtime fans a fun way to revisit their childhood, minus the ball pit.
You know, like Dave and Buster's, right? Which is like
Yeah.
supposed to be an adult arcade at times.
Right.
My problem is all the games, and I get it, they suck.
Yeah.
The games aren't like that. Like, if you could put 50 cents in and play something for 20 minutes, I'm not leaving. I'll
Right.
do it for 4 hours, and I'll drink and eat while I'm there.
Right. Yep.
But you put in $1.50 and you spin a wheel, and then you go, oh, you get 40 points on your card.
It's a valid point.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
they're doing it right, man, with the Donkey Kong,
Dude.
and Space Invaders.
and let me tell you,
know.
we need to write them, because if they get a missile command,
Yeah.
I'm moving there.
Right. Get a
Forget
dig
about
dug, get a dig dug machine or a
Dig
cube.
Dug. Do you guys remember Crazy Climber?
Yeah. Oh,
Do you
yeah.
remember that one?
No,
You might be a little young.
Yeah.
You literally had two things, and there was a King Kong, basically,
Okay.
and he had to climb a building. So you're going, coom, coom. Then you could move left and right, get out of the way of things. It was awesome.
Right.
Crazy Climber. You real fast. You go. I loved it. Oh, Pac-Man,
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, all the good old school games.
I will say, when you're playing them at home on the remotes, right?
It's not the same vibe.
It's not the same,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? But you know, compared to like a modern video game, which was designed with that thing in mind, the way you had to do it in the old days, it was just more interactive. Like, you literally, there was some physicality to it.
Yeah.
And pinball. I wish pinball would come back. To me, I could play pinball for 10 hours.
Yeah.
For real.
I
love it.
I've never been a huge pinball
Oh
fan.
my God.
Yeah.
I had a pinball in my in my basement. My dad was a big advocate for the pinball, so like we had
Oh,
that in
nice.
our
His dad's a
basement.
genius.
But eventually it just like fell apart and it became just whatever. But yeah,
Is
I
your
remember
dad
that.
still with us?
No, unfortunately, my parents both passed away.
I'm
yeah.
sorry, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to tell you something. A dad like that, right? That held on to something he loved and then showed it to you guys.
Yeah.
That's a gift.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I guess because I'm a dad and my kids are older now, like when they talk about things they like that are really from my time, I feel like that's really cool that you could do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do that with music all the time. I feel like I have 3 daughters, so I'm like, you're never going to hear AC/DC unless I like play it in the car.
Right.
So like I have to feel forced because their mother's just, pop music. So you have to give them a little bit of your youth.
I bonded with my daughter when she was real little with AC/DC.
Me too, with my boys.
Yeah.
Yep. I'll never forget. My boys were both under 5, and all 3 of us are in the car screaming as loud as we can, "Highway to Hell."
It's a long way.
My girls, their song is so funny to hear a little 5-year-old go, "Shot down in flames."
Shot down in flames. That's my absolute favorite AC/DC
I love
song.
it. We do too.
Yeah, I love that song.
My little 6-year-old, she'll hear that. She don't know what it is or what, but she knows all the words.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
So the 4th of July holiday's coming up, boys, and the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest is happening tomorrow with the champ, Jaws, set to return to Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest on Coney Island tomorrow. Joey Chestnut, banned from the competition in 2024 due to a sponsorship issue.
Was travesty.
Chestnut has won the prestigious eating event 16 times and holds the all-time record of 76 hot dogs munched down in 2021, plus the world record, which is 83 in 10 minutes.
Damn.
And you're going to be able to watch this on several ESPN channels beginning at 10:45 a.m. tomorrow.
I want you to think about this for a second. We all lived to see in football the GOAT, in basketball the GOAT,
Yeah.
in soccer 2 GOATs,
Yeah, that's a hard one to have.
and the hot dog eating champ.
Yeah.
All in one lifetime. You tell me a generation that ever had that
We got
kind.
it made.
You tell me a generation that had that kind of impact.
Right. You know what I was thinking about,
We
man?
produced all the GOATs.
He's had the world record, which is, I mentioned, 83 hot dogs in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
At some point, I mean, can we humanly get past 83 to 90 hot dogs?
Of course.
So gross.
That's
You
the
think?
mark. He says the mark's 85. I've heard
Is
him in
that what he
interview.
said?
Of course it is.
Somebody asked him, "Did you set the all-time never breakable record?" He said,
Yeah.
"I think 85 is the number that would hold forever."
Right. Some guy just going to go up there and die? I
Yeah.
mean, what's going to
Well-
happen? I mean,
Yeah. I mean, it is insane.
yeah.
I mean, but think about it. We are the GOAT generation. I love it.
Meanwhile, on the 4th of July, guys, there's a Michigan woman who will celebrate her 114th birthday tomorrow. Michigan's oldest resident and the 3rd oldest in the U.S. turns 114, born July 4th, 1911.
Holy cow.
Yeah, Bonita Gibson credits her longevity. You ready for this?
Yeah.
To eating potatoes.
Wow.
Well, think about this for a second.
Yeah.
And that's an awesome
The
thing.
healthy carb.
But that when that woman was born, without a doubt, her grandparents were in the Civil War.
Right.
That's a woman that's alive now.
Yeah, that
And
knows people that were in the Civil War.
It was her grandmother, not that
Yeah.
knows like a 4th generation.
Right.
My
Yeah.
Aunt Betty on my granddaddy's side.
Right.
No,
Right.
this was her grandmother
Right. He was killing Confederates.
in the Civil War.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy.
Right.
That is wild.
Yeah,
That is insane.
she and her husband used to farm potatoes, and she also says that, and I believe this one for longevity. She says staying positive, which I believe,
Hey man, I'm a firm believer now that you can just think your way to happiness.
Absolutely.
of course, it's all in your head, man.
Dude, it is all in your head.
Yep.
Now,
It's so hard, though.
things
right?
outside of your head affect your head, but it's still all in your head.
It's how you process that
Yeah,
stuff.
Correct. And I've learned to, I used to yell and scream and throw things, and now I don't. I make sure no one's home when I do it. Like, no, I'm kidding. Like I've literally gotten to a point where I can just go, I've been through worse, man.
Yep.
I survived worse.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I love it. Yeah, this is awesome.
So they might have found Amelia Earhart's plane.
Finally,
One of history's great mysteries surrounds
Cincinnati,
the
right?
disappearance of Amelia Earhart in 1937 during her attempt to fly around the world. We know she went down somewhere in the South Pacific, but the wreckage of her plane, here she is right here.
By the way, that birthday lady was 26 when that happened.
Wow.
Think about that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That lady was 26. She's when Amelia Earhart.
She's going to
came
pass away now.
Yeah.
She's like, I've been waiting just to see where the plane was.
Yeah,
Now I'm gone.
She's going to be right. They're going to find it, and she's going to go like this. Jesus, finally. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody. I love you all.
This might be about to change, though. They think researchers at Purdue University are planning a new search for the plane based on recent satellite footage. It shows what could be the wreckage peeking from the sand about 1,000 miles from Fiji. The location is near her planned flight path in the area where her distress calls came from, and the shape of the object seems to match the plane. But they say not everybody's convinced. There's a guy from the International Group for Historic Aircraft Recovery who says, we've looked there at that spot, and there's nothing there.
That's the kind of guy that would say that.
Right.
What do you do, sir? I'm the head of the Where is the Amelia Earhart Plane Foundation.
Right.
Yeah.
And why don't we have it? Because I looked once.
How about you get a real job, Rick?
Because if we find it, my job's done.
Yeah. Because if we find it, I become a Hall of Famer.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I listen, I think things like that, or I think those kind of things are what make life fun.
Right.
Like you think about this, to our grandparents or great grandparents, that was the biggest story in the world.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that woman has never been discovered. We don't know anything.
Well, and for a woman at that time, too, she was the first to sail across, not sail, but fly across the Atlantic. The first woman.
Yes.
Right?
And the first to go around the world.
And she inspired, I'm sure, especially the women of that time.
Oh, my God.
Can you imagine how many Instagram followers she would have right now?
Yeah, right? No kidding, man.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. And then, so generations of people have come and gone and never knew. We all knew about it.
Sure.
I always thought I'd die and never know, right? There's three things I want to know before I die, and I'll think I'm the luckiest human that ever lived that got to experience it. Number one is Bigfoot. I just want to know.
You want to know if it's real?
I want to know, right? Because it's stuck in my craw.
Right.
Number two is, will they ever find a treasure on Oak Island?
Right. Yeah.
I'm in, dude.
So,
I'm in.
I
need to know that one.
Yeah, that one's a good one.
And third would probably be the truth of the pyramids.
Yeah.
Like an undeniable truth of what it is, what it was, how they did it.
When you went a little JFK and
don't give a rat's ass.
Aliens.
I don't even put it on the list because I think every human has that bucket wish. Yeah. It is going to be cool though. Imagine if we are the time where aliens come forward.
Right.
500 years from now, if we came back in time and they're interacting with the aliens and they're all impressed, and we walk up and go, "Yeah, really? We used to live here when none of this shit was here.
Right.
These geniuses showed up and made it easy.
Right.
Imagine life before these guys.
Right.
You know?
Well, we're not going to get into that conversation because you and I both have this theory that they could have been here before.
Oh, I believe it without a doubt.
Yeah.
And I think humans have destroyed ourselves a couple of times.
There's so many theories that are plausible. They're in the ocean, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or they're future,
in Antarctica,
future humans that came back.
Right, like they're time travelers.
Yeah.
I think honestly, I go back and forth with this, but I dig so deep in it because I'm so interested in it. It's something has to give though. It can't all be, fake or like people are always like bad.
No, I mean, you look at the sheer size of just our solar system, and then you look at the sheer size of just our galaxy, which is massive. And then there's the universe that surrounds that with trillions and trillions of galaxies.
And we're the only thing in it.
Right.
Like, talk about narcissism.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And the argument I have with a friend of mine is, well, why don't they get a clear picture? But to be fair, man, I have the newest iPhone or one of them.
Yeah.
Try to get a clear picture of something flying in the air like that. If you're on the ground, the some of the videos, I mean, I guarantee not all of them are real, but it is kind of difficult to get like a zoomed in with a phone.
You ever try to take a picture of the moon?
And apparently with these disclosure people, they do have these images with, military grade. We're just not seeing them. So.
We're not going down the alien rabbit hole right now.
Sorry.
But I'll have you. I would love to do a sideshow. What we talked about.
A whole show. Yeah, we'll do that. And then we got our pyramid show we're going to do as well.
I love that.
You'll be in the round table, dude. Hell yeah. Write his name down for the round table.
Of course.
On the alien reveal show.
So here's something wild, boys. I don't know if you saw this. A moment of awe and wonder had churchgoers in the Philippines looking up at the sky last week when Jesus suddenly appeared. Parishioners at a Catholic church were left stunned when a cloud formation appeared to take the shape of Jesus Christ. Take a look at this. So this is kind of the shot right here.
Holy shit! I'm getting up.
I mean,
That's Jesus.
look
right
look
there.
at this. Yeah, I'll put the camera on me. You guys can come here and look. Just watch that camera. So
oh my! I mean, yeah, I see what everybody saw.
here's another
Yeah.
one. You ready? Hold on. Well, that's it further away actually, but yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's pretty impressive. Because it's none of the other clouds are like a really around. It just like feels
No.
standing right there.
it's
I just want
it's
to
crazy.
say right now that if
Yeah.
that is Jesus and he's given us an early sign,
Right.
I want to apologize for everything, and I want to say I believe.
All right.
And I've always said that the moment I see him, I'm gonna be like, I knew it, but I had to question it.
right.
You know, no, listen, I love these kind of things.
Yeah.
I really do, because just imagine, it's fun. What if it's real?
Well, look. Imagine this.
Yeah.
Imagine you go to church,
Yep.
and then church is over, and you walk outside,
With that.
and this cloud that looks like Jesus is standing. I mean, it's the striking image they say was spotted during a religious gathering, and many onlookers described it as a powerful spiritual sign. And you,
yeah.
I mean, let me
you
tell you,
feel that in your bones, I'm sure, man. If you walk out and see that,
dude,
right?
you walk out there and you look up, just came from that, and look up
Yeah.
and see that it makes you run back inside and redonate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It'll
Like,
change your life.
Yeah, that's
Wouldn't it be funny if they figured out a way down the Philippines to make a Jesus cloud just to make money?
That's messed up. And it
That'd be-
appears like occasionally.
yeah. That'd
It's
be
like
messed
those
up.
night, you know, those spotlights that work at night, like in front of your business.
I wouldn't put it past people.
No way.
Send up the Jesus
Yeah,
cloud.
Yeah, send up the Jesus cloud. Yeah.
Sponsored by.
Oh my goodness.
You know what's crazy about things like that, though? Because if you're there, take the religion out, like it's just a spiritual experience. That's got to be unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure.
So then it becomes real to you because you lived it.
Sure.
And then we look at it as a picture and we go, well, I mean, it could be coincidence. It could be a million things. Then you downplay it. But I never do, because to those people, that was a miracle.
Of course.
And I think that's beautiful.
Or legitimately, it is a miracle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And maybe it's true.
Hey, speaking of this, because I'm going to forget, and we were talking about sponsorships.
Yeah.
I heard you guys on the show, and Mickey talking about, I don't know if I can show my Diet Coke or not, right?
Yes, of
And,
course. Yeah.
So I just thought it would be funny. I hope this comes off well, but I bought you guys covers for your drinks.
Oh, my
So-
God.
So they're generic,
I
but it
love
says Pepsi, but it's misspelt, you know? So that way you guys don't get into issues. You got
Yeah.
Momster.
Well, I'll
Here,
tell
show
you,
it to the
Mom,
camera.
Monster, so
Anthony,
I'm gonna
show
do
it to
one-
the
look,
camera.
I can do it right now.
There we go. Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. So now you have covers, and you could also drink beer on the show, and no one would know.
Neither
So,
one of us drinks.
Anyway,
so,
I thought
but,
that'd be
yeah.
funny. There you go.
Shannon has these.
Does she?
Yeah, she
That's
uses
funny.
them. It's funny as hell, man.
I love it, Anthony.
All
Thank
right,
you, man.
no problem.
That's so cool.
That's and by the way, it's a miracle. He said it was a miracle.
Yeah.
Somebody brought us a gift. It's
Right,
a
right,
miracle. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so boys, there's a Japanese city who has put ordinance into place forcing wait staff to get on all fours and apologize.
What?
Ooh.
Yeah, so Kawana City in Japan has adopted the country's first rule that can punish customers who force workers to drop to their hands and knees in the humiliating dogenza pose to say sorry. Dogenza is kneeling down on the ground to prostrate oneself.
Jesus.
The ordinance, in part of wider anti-harassment measures launched in April, lets businesses report cases to City Hall. Committee then reviews the incident. First-time offenders get a formal warning letter. Repeat offenders risk having their names made public as harassing customers. And the new rule follows viral videos of angry shoppers, bullying clerks, and even a security guard at Expo 2025. Online reactions praise the step, but call the warning alone too light, with some commenters demanding arrests or blacklists. Can you imagine?
I'm not sure I follow what exactly is happening.
So so you're in a restaurant, right?
Yep.
And you're looking over at this table, and there's some Karen over there, and she's angry, and she's like, "You get down in dogenza," and makes the servers get down and say,
That's awful.
prostrate themselves in front of people.
That's awful.
Where is this?
Japan. It's in
Yeah,
Japan.
hell no.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I will say though, like
Not in America.
the
No,
Asian
no.
the Asian culture is very interesting in the respect aspect. And
Right.
and like verbal discipline is like a cultural thing. Like
Yeah, for sure.
getting talked down to is how that seems to happen.
Yeah.
It's weird. I mean, it don't work in America. I know that.
Can you imagine a Japanese guy coming over here and asking an American server to Dogenza for him?
Yeah.
See how that works out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Be the
That'd be a
dog
good-
ends of your life. I tell you that. Be the ends of your life.
It be ends of your life.
Yeah. Get down in dog enza. You about to dog enza the hell out of here. I'll tell you that right now.
That's funny.
So the Indonesian National Police are putting humanoid robot officers into service. You see a picture of these things?
Oh man,
The robots now police officers. Look how fast this shit's happening.
I know, man. It's
3 months
scary.
ago, we heard about a robot.
I
Now
know.
they're doing everything.
Oh, it's not in here. Let me see if I can find it.
Don't worry about it. I mean, you really think about that, Matt. I mean, 6 months ago, we talked about AI and
know.
things, but now it just literally is happening in front of us.
Well, listen to this, man. This is crazy. Indonesia has rolled out 25 new robot police officers that look like real-life RoboCops to help fight crime, especially drug smuggling. The Indonesian National Police showed off these emotionless robots during a parade in Jakarta, complete with police uniforms and black berets. They're wild-looking robots, man. These humanoid robots can do many jobs that human officers do. They can defuse bombs, help negotiate during hostage situations, and carry out search and rescue missions. The robots also work with facial recognition and can watch for traffic violations.
They can also like walk right in the house and be like, and it gets shot, and it just keeps going.
Yeah.
Where's Dave?
But,
I said, where's Dave?
right. But that's
Get
not
Dave,
that's
damn
not
it.
it, man. They've got robot dogs starting in
Oh, yeah, this
2026.
shit's getting nuts.
These robot dogs work like regular police dogs, but don't need food, training, or handlers. They can also handle extreme weather better than real dogs. They were made by a Chinese company. But, our military has robot dogs
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now,
Dude,
and
I'm
Could you
getting ready
imagine-
to invest in a trailer park. And the reason is I'm going to get rid of all the trailers and I'm going to sell tunnels underground. Because I think if this robot shit goes the way I think it's going to go, we're going to just have to hide from them.
oh my God.
So it'd be a trailer park, but your house is underground.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? This
Yeah.
shit's getting weird.
Go up to the donut shop and there's like 4 robots eating donuts.
Yeah, just sitting there.
waiting on a call.
What do you look like?
There's like a fat robot.
That's hilarious.
No knock on the cops. This is a little joke.
Imagine telling the robot, can I speak to your supervisor, please?
Right.
I want your super.
I'm not answering
Yeah,
questions.
I don't
I'm not
answer
answering questions. Yeah.
yeah, what do they call themselves? I'm a
Auditors.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
no, I'm
First
a,
Amendment auditor.
no, I'm talking about the people in the cars.
I'm an independent journalist.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
an independent journalist.
No, they call themselves something, man. What is it?
They're like off the grid or whatever.
I'm a world. I forget what it's called.
I know. Yeah.
Are you talking about sovereign citizens?
Sovereign
Sovereign
citizens.
That's
Yeah,
another
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Tell a robot, I'm a sovereign citizen. The robot's going to be like, great.
I'm just a traveler. I'm not using this vehicle for commerce.
Right, yeah.
I really wonder if that ever worked. It probably not.
Like, I understand that there are dick cops in the world. Like, we all do.
Right.
Even cops will admit it.
Yeah.
Like, so-and-so's a dick,
In
right?
every walk of life.
I'm telling you now, 99% of my interactions
Amazing people, of course.
with police
for sure.
and even witnessing their work,
Right.
they're always decent,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
but when I watch these auditors, I just wish sometimes like and we are seeing bad cops a lot in these videos, guys that have had awful days, and this dick's in a post office with a camera,
Sure.
right? An independent journalist.
Sure.
By the way, I want to see one story that they've ever done other than standing in the post office. They always go, I'm gathering content for a story.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Where's the story,
Right.
Dick?
Right.
It's 3 years
The
ago.
story is I'm being a jerk
Right.
in the post
Bingo.
office. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm covering, covering content for you. If I'm in public and I see one of them guys,
Yeah.
I'm taking up for the cop every time.
Yeah.
I will. I'll be like, yeah, we get it. You're a dick. That's
Yeah.
your story.
Yep.
It's a
You're
sup-
a bored dick.
Yeah, it's a super unsafe job and for a little pay.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, it's crazy.
And then
but
to
anyway.
harass them for
Yeah.
something as stupid like that.
You know,
Yeah.
when you're a little kid, you get the idea of being a police officer or a fireman because when you're a kid, they're heroes.
Yeah.
Right.
They're supermen
Yeah.
and women, right? When you're a little kid and they have a gun
Yeah.
and when they show up, people calm down. Like, it's a wonderful thing to look up to.
Yeah.
And then you grow up and you realize, okay, I became a cop, and people are shit. Like, people are really shitty.
Sure, and it has to affect your your
Everything.
brain, you start to look at everyone as a criminal
Of
or
course.
bad because you are only exposed to the bad. And
You never call them because you're having a good time.
I have family
Yeah.
members that are police. So yeah.
Yeah, I think the world of police.
I still give them crap though about this whole donut thing. So
Yeah, they love it too. They love it.
Yeah, they do.
So there's a study that found that teenage drivers spend 21% of their time behind the wheel looking at their phone.
There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah,
They say Gen Z drivers are spending a terrifying amount of time looking at phones while behind the wheel. The worrying findings show that young motorists spend an average of 21.1% of each driving trip looking at their mobile device.
Wow. I wish there was a law where you weren't allowed to talk to each other in the car if you were opposite genders. Like two dudes in a car, you can talk.
You can talk, right?
Right? Two women in the car, they can talk. A man and a woman, shh.
Well, how?
What do you mean? Why? What are you talking about?
Maybe you have one of those ladies that just don't like to talk a lot. Like when you ever driving and somebody's talking to you and you're trying to pay attention and you're trying to talk and then the conversation doesn't really make sense anyway.
Right,
but you're trying to
process
you're trying to process it and you're driving and there's a little bit of a traffic jam and you're
I
already
see. While you're driving, you don't want people talking to you, but but a
people.
dude can talk to you.
Yeah, because they're not bothering me. Dudes will say shit like this. You know, you probably should have made that left. And you go, yeah, you're right. But like a lot of times I'm noticing if it's gender opposite, it's like you should have made that left. And you go, yeah. And then they go, why didn't you make the left? And you go, I didn't think about it.
You don't like
you got to pay more attention.
Hey, you don't like that input, Mick?
No.
Are you guys one of the people that like turns the radio down when you're about to make like a crazy maneuver?
When I parallel park,
isn't that
I do.
weird?
Yeah.
Like when I was young, it'd be like, God, the whole way you're back in.
Yeah.
Now I think that's a sign of getting older. I'm like, wait, no, hold on, let's calm down now.
I heard a really interesting theory on that. It was actually a comedian, and it wasn't even funny. He was being serious, and he goes, think about it. When you're driving, you're going fast. Everything's on kind of cruise control,
right?
But when you have to back up, you then have to focus very specifically.
Yeah, it's all about concentration.
So
sure.
Our hearing as humans is so important to everything we do. And like you can hear things and you'll hear a tire rub before you'll feel it.
Sure.
So it's like that's why we do it, I think.
Yeah.
And he said that and I was like, that makes perfect
sense.
sense.
It's all concentration.
Yeah, of course.
So this study completed by more than 1,100 teenage drivers across the states showed that they estimate that 26.5% of those glances were for 2 seconds or longer, which is a duration which dramatically increases the danger of crashing.
Sure.
The most common reason for the distraction was 65% entertainment, which is scary, 40% texting, and 30% navigation. The study lead director said that distracted driving is a serious public health threat and particularly concerning among young drivers. It doesn't just put the driver at risk, of course, it puts everyone at risk of death. Encouraging the use of do not disturb mode in your teens and everybody, really. It shouldn't just be for teens. I think everybody should maybe consider do not disturb mode in the car. Do you get distracted?
Well, mine doesn't work, my do not disturb mode. Right?
What do you mean?
Because my car's a little older.
Yeah.
It has it, but I think it only works on an iPhone.
Yeah.
Like I don't like iPhone stuff. I use all Droid stuff, whatever. That's just me. But like my car, I can connect the auto, whatever that's called, Google Auto or whatever. But it doesn't let me do the do not disturb.
Well, you do it on your phone, not on the car.
I don't have it.
Really?
You got to show me. I don't know. I'm
Okay.
dumb with this shit.
That's fine.
Plus, I just turn my ringer really is never on.
Yeah.
Ever.
No, mine's not either.
I just check
I'm always in a studio
right.
somewhere.
Yeah, I'm always.
Yeah.
I do the Apple CarPlay. I do have a thing on my car though where it like vibrates. Like if you're like going off the road.
Yeah, it'll vibrate. Yeah.
I can't stand that thing.
Yeah.
And sometimes I put it on, sometimes I don't, for safety reasons or whatever. But sometimes it will like read the car that if I'm on a 2-lane road, it'll read the car coming at me.
Yeah.
Like it thinks it's gonna hit me.
Yeah.
And it scares the crap out of me.
Some of these
I'm like,
new
whoa.
features, man. The feature I hate is when you stop at the stoplight
and it turns off.
And the car turns off.
I hate it.
Yeah,
I got a used car that's a piece of shit anyway. I think it dies every time. I'm like,
yeah.
Pretty soon cars are gonna be driving themselves
yeah,
anyway.
we're gonna get in a tunnel.
Yeah.
I can't wait till we just get on conveyor belts. You just stand and hold a thing and
You're
here.
gone.
Yeah, I need nothing.
Just beam me somewhere. That's what I want.
I
right?
can't wait.
Yeah.
I hope AI figures all this shit out in a couple
Me
weeks.
too.
I'm sick of waiting.
Well, there's a new martini out, guys, and it costs $8,000.
Oh,
No
then
big
maybe
deal.
I'll start drinking.
And it comes with a diamond tennis necklace. If sipping a martini garnished with a 5-carat diamond tennis necklace sounds like your kind of summer flex, you can head to Sag Harbor's Doplo La Spiaggia, where a new $8,000 cocktail is stealing the show. What is it?
Say it again. I don't know. Say it again the way you said it.
It's Sag Harbor's Dopo La Spiaggia.
La Spiaggia.
You know what that means in Italian?
I have no idea.
It means beach.
Okay, but I feel like this is a missed opportunity for a lower class bar to serve a martini with a cubic zirconia for like $10.99.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You gotta get $20 for it.
Yeah, or to get $20. But the girl would still be
your
like,
girlfriend down there, and I'll be like, I'm gonna get you a nice necklace.
Hey, look, remember I bought you that Pandora bracelet 14 years ago when it was hot?
Yeah,
I got something new.
she's like, I've been with Butchie 20 years because he bought me this.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, aptly named Rocks on Rocks, the lavish drink is served in an oversized glass and comes with jewelry from luxury designer Jimmy the Rock Diamonds. So far, 3 have been sold, including a 72-year-old fan who traveled from Arizona just to try it. Mick, if we ever get that big and I tell you that I'm flying out from Arizona to try this drink, just punch me right in the face.
No, you know what I'm going to do?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell your wife. That's what I'm going to do.
Tell my wife.
She ain't going to let you. She let you spend that kind of money on a drink and a necklace.
Oh, she might like a diamond necklace. I don't know.
But don't take her to Arizona in some bullshit trend that you just want to give her this necklace.
Right.
She ain't falling for that.
No.
Oh, man.
So there is a 12-year-old that has been accused of stealing cars, I should say, and selling them for $30.
Okay.
12-year-old kid arrested by the Oakland County Sheriff's Office in Michigan after being accused of stealing cars, and then he sold them for personal profit. Deputies say the kid was found carrying a license plate and alleged that he'd stolen 3 or 4 vehicles from an unnamed business. And allegedly, the kid turned around and sold one of the cars for the low price of $30.
What an idiot!
Yeah, PS5 costs $500.
Right. I mean, I love the hustle in the kid.
Right.
But his execution sucks.
Might have done some market research there.
How much you want for that car?
Yeah, I don't know, $30.
$30?
Too much.
Yeah. Would you like to be the guy that like brought him down on price?
Like, I want to know.
Kid, I got $20.
Yeah, that's a Corolla.
I want to know his initial offer to the guy.
Right.
50. Hell no, you thief.
30. Fine.
Those are the
30's
facts,
good.
Matt, boys.
Thank you, Matt. Let's go right into it. This is the best fun talking about music I have. It is Matt's Music Minute, brought to us by Natalie's Seafood Kitchen. I will be there live tomorrow, 5 p.m., as I am every Friday, along with Matt. Matt will not be there tomorrow. I'm looking for somebody to come do it with me. If you don't have anything to do, stop up and sit down with me. I think that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Just have random people come
If you
up.
ever need a co-host,
All right.
I know a guy.
All right. That you made a mistake right there.
Have some seafood. Come down and have some seafood, right?
man.
So anyway, we'll be there tomorrow. Natalie's is amazing. I met with Natalie today, Matt.
Yeah.
And just getting some advertising stuff straight with them. Big things coming for them. Really happy.
Good.
But let's get into it. Here it is, Matt's Music Minute.
All right. And we're going to get hopefully an acoustic song from Anthony here.
You want to start with
a
it?
few. I don't know. You want to do it now, or are we going to tease it for after the Music Minute?
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever you want.
You're the music director.
All right, let's do it. You ready to do something?
I'll do it.
All right.
I thought of this song for you guys, man. And once again, you guys inspire me with the show, and I know you guys dream big and do things that are big, and I don't know, I'm just really proud of you guys. So this is one of the first songs I wrote when I decided to go on my own, and I know it's a big mountain to climb, and I know you guys got a big mountain to climb.
Yeah.
So this is what this song's all about, and I hope you guys don't give up on this dream of yours, and I hope it
Thank you, brother.
well.
Thank you.
We need the inspiration now.
Yeah,
so
hell
thanks.
yeah.
So this goes out to y'all. The song's called Swinging for the Fences. Daddy said you can be anything you want, but dreaming ain't for the faint of heart, Your dreamer's gonna dream and haters gonna hate you from the start. And what you gonna do with the dream when it breaks your heart? If it's gonna kill me, let it kill me. I'm going down swinging for the fences. Seem to get stronger than I need to be when my back's against the wall. God, if you can hear me, can you help me out? I can't bring myself to backing down. It's better to believe than die never finding out. Well, I've been driving way too long on this road, and people gave up on me a long time ago. 100 million miles I broke down a time or two. I failed so many times, yet I refuse to lose. So if it's gonna kill me, let it kill me. I'm going down swinging for the fences. Seem to get stronger than I need to be when my back's against the wall. God, if you can hear me, can you help me out? I can't bring myself to backing down. It's better to believe than die never finding out. It's better to believe than die never finding out.
Wow.
That is beautiful, man.
Wow, dude.
What do you call
song.
that? What do you call that?
That one's called Swinging for the Fences.
Swinging for the Fences.
Yeah, man.
I love it, man. Is that one online too? Can people download that?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pull that mic back up for yourself.
Oh, yeah,
and let me
man.
tell you something. That's a beautiful song, man.
Thanks, brother.
For real. Like,
Thank you, man.
Yeah, I mean that. Like, I just love when that's the thing I love about music is when somebody is a great storyteller and they know how to write it in a melody. It's the greatest way to hear a story, I think.
For sure.
And in religion or whatever it is, there's beautiful songs of faith. And there's reasons that they're not just readings, that music is a huge part of everything we do.
Absolutely.
And it's just beautiful, man.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
I hope that inspired you guys, and that's just to
absolutely.
you guys.
It sincerely does,
keep going,
man.
keep going.
It is beautiful.
I'm
Thank
listening to you, and I'm literally saying to myself, wow, this guy wrote this about me. He wrote it about Matt. He wrote it about himself. He wrote it about every guy and girl out there doing what they love and praying that it works.
Yes.
It's a great song.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
And a beautiful way to kick off Matt's Music Minute here. And Mick, you're going to love this too, man.
All right.
This first story here, I think. Kanye West.
Yeah. Died.
His Australian visa has been scrapped over his Heil Hitler song release.
Yeah. What an
Shocker.
idiot. Yeah.
So Kanye West was recently stripped of his Australian visa after he released his single called Heil Hitler.
Yep.
A government minister said on Wednesday, Home Affairs Minister Tony Burke revealed Yee has been traveling for years to Australia, where his wife of 3 years, Bianca Sensori, was born, and her family lives in Melbourne. Burke said Heil Hitler, released in May, promoted Nazism. The song has been criticized as an anti-Semitic tribute to German dictator Adolf Hitler, of course. He's been coming to Australia for a long time, he says. He's got family here, and he's made a lot of offensive comments that my officials looked at. And once he released the song, he no longer has a valid visa in Australia. He says, we have enough problems in this country already without deliberately importing bigotry. Yee's representative did not immediately respond to a request for a comment on Wednesday.
Am I off base here? The way I understood, maybe it just coming from an artist perspective, I try to give it, I understand how Hitler is insane, right?
Yeah,
it's
of course,
insane.
right.
But I think what he was trying to do, he's a shock. He's a person that wants to shock everything he does, right? So the sentiment, which missed the mark, is if you're going to say that I am this person, then basically saying, well,
This who you think I am?
Yes,
I'll act like it.
exactly.
Okay,
I'm going to
here's
blow
the
it up.
problem
And
I
maybe
have.
I'm wrong.
No,
I
you
don't
may
know.
be right.
I don't know.
But here's what I say to that.
Yep.
Okay, fuck you. You're an idiot then.
Right, of
if
course.
you can't understand that I'm telling you what you're doing is wrong and that what you're doing makes me think that of you, and you're not willing to change or validate what I'm saying to you, and you're going to go one step further, you're done to me.
Yeah,
Right.
look, I'm all about artistic expression and people having freedom
he has
in that.
every right
but
to do
that's
it.
kind of a place
But we have every right to
that I think when you go there, you pay a price, man.
Yes,
That's
Sure.
like me dropping an offensive N-word or something
Right,
like
yeah,
that.
right.
You just can't go there.
Well, luckily on this show, I don't think it would be a problem because I don't think we have a huge black listenership. But you
I
make
think
your
we,
point.
okay,
No, you can't do
Right.
that.
Right.
100%.
Yeah.
1,000%.
Right.
Right. Like,
And that's essentially what he did.
yeah. I mean,
Right, yeah.
and in some ways, it's even like I don't know. It's a very touchy subject because when you talk about free speech, I have to say, I think anyone has the right to say anything. Now, you also, when you do that, like for instance, I could say whatever I want on this show, right? But there's going to be repercussions of what you do. So
Yeah.
if I say something like Heil Hitler or, Jews should die and all this shit, right? I say that, there are going to be people that go, unless you take that back and make me understand why you said it, I'll never listen to you again. And it would be most people. That's my price to pay
Right.
for my expression.
Right.
Well,
Don't tell me, I don't want to hear from artists. You have no right to tell me I don't have a right to make a living. You have every right to make a living. And if you're going to choose to do it that way, don't complain.
I have
when
a right to respond.
Then no
right?
one,
Yeah.
then no one wants to buy it.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't get mad.
Right.
You
Sure.
missed the
Well,
mark.
here's the other piece of
Absolutely.
the puzzle too, man. The other piece of the puzzle is I think that was in response to his mostly Jewish management and
Sure.
and record company
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
People forget
It was.
how this whole thing started. The Heil Hitler song was the result of a year-long anti-Semitic rant that he went on. You remember Adidas?
Sure. They dropped
They
him.
dropped him.
And then he was basically saying that the machine, right, is trying to drag him down. And I'm not.
I don't know
for
what
the
he
guy.
meant. He was the biggest entertainer in the world. Where was he being dragged down to?
It's a shame too because he really is talented.
He's a
And
brilliant
he's brilliant.
musician.
And I think maybe he definitely has mental issues and stuff.
You
but
think?
maybe that's what. Well,
We
maybe
gave it away.
that's part of his the
His
genius,
genius.
like the touch of tism maybe he has or some whatever
Yes.
it is makes him over that level.
Well,
genius.
Mm,
And maybe he just
I
should
ha-
have had a pill or something.
Yeah.
Can I talk about this for a minute, Matt? Or you
Yeah,
want to
go
move
ahead.
So I want to say something to that because I believe you. And I do believe that insanity, the way we understand insanity, there is a fine line there. I think people have done things in life that were considered insane. But in hindsight, you just go, wow, how fucking brave.
Right, exactly.
So what he did would never be considered brave, except for if 20 years from now, the world's completely anti-Semitic and run by anti-Semitic people, he would be looked back on as brave for, breaking that
Speaking
wall
out,
down.
right, sure.
However, I look at it like this. No matter who it is that you're coming out against through art, whether it's the Catholic Church, whether it's Judaism, whether it's capitalism, socialism, fascism, whatever you come out against, just know that there are people that you're coming out against.
Right.
Not just the ideology, because people take the ideology as that's who I am. That is what our ideology is. You have yours, I have mine, you have yours. That's who we are. So when you attack our ideology, you are attacking us. And I don't think artists truly put that in perspective. Well, I'm just expressing myself. Great, me too. That's a piece of shit. Take it down. I don't want to look at it. Or, but it's just, I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to listen to it.
Right.
Well, look, you make that. Obviously, he was making that to make a point and to get a reaction out of people. And look, this is my reaction.
Yeah, the
Here,
reaction
you know.
is fuck off.
Yeah. So Black Sabbath is capitalizing on their finale show coming up this weekend with Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath making headlines with their final show. It's this Saturday.
What's it on? How can I watch it?
They're calling it Back to the Beginning. You can go on. I think you have to go onto their website and you can buy a ticket, and I think it's around $30.
Oh, it's not like streaming on a major platform.
No, I don't think
Oh,
so.
good for them. They're making all the money.
I could be wrong, but I think you have to go to their website.
Right. And pay $5 or whatever it is.
Well, it's like $30.
Yeah.
It goes to charity.
Right.
All that
that's
money.
great.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And it's happening in the band's hometown of Birmingham, England.
Yep.
They and others are taking advantage of the spotlight. Their first manager, Jim Simpson, has put together an album of their early demos they recorded in 1969 when they were known as Earth.
Wow.
Simpson says that at that time they were a blues-driven powerhouse. These recordings clearly demonstrate what fine music they produced right from the very beginning. He said, we recorded these tracks at Zella Studio in Birmingham in 1969, but held back from releasing them as their style was evolving so quickly. So 57 years later, here they come. I don't know if you heard the story about their name, you guys. They were Earth, as we just mentioned before. The band at that time realized they were being mistaken for another English group called Earth at the time, so they had to change it. So the inspiration for their current name came from a movie theater that was across the street from the band's practice space, and the theater was showing a 1963 horror movie called Black Sabbath, starring Boris Karloff.
Wow.
And Tony Iommi said that no one in the band had even seen the movie at that time. They just loved the name.
They just thought
they got it.
I am Dracula.
Yeah.
I will say this. I learned to respect Sabbath late in life. It was always too dark and mysterious to me.
I was an Ozzy fan first before Sabbath.
I think we all were, most of us. Here's my question. Do they get the title of heavy metal because of just how dark and like the minor chords and like that sort of approach to it?
They were so heavy, especially for their day, man.
Exactly.
I mean,
Were they heavier than Zeppelin, though?
Yeah. Oh,
It
yeah.
was.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I guess it's a mixture too, right? You're right. I agree with you, but like also the content, it's all in context. Like you're saying, it's dark with themes and plus that distortion.
Yeah.
Nobody had heard anything like that.
Crazy drop D, dark
So you guys
sound.
might know. I don't.
Yeah.
Who was the genius? Is it Tony Iommi or is it Ozzy? Who was the genius?
That's a
I've heard
tough question.
I mean, heard Iommi had.
He's amazing for sure, but you can't discount Ozzy either.
He's
sure.
a great writer.
Yeah.
So was it the Lennon-McCartney theory with those two? Ozzy to Iommi?
I don't know. That's hard. I would think Ozzy is just such a alpha, powerhouse. I would think they took his lead, but who knows, man? I don't know.
See, I don't think Ozzy was that way.
No,
he was what way? What do you mean?
An alpha. I'm in charge.
Well, you remember?
No,
back
but he was a
day.
star, man. He was an instant star for sure.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I would love. I'm sure there's documentaries that really explain it, but as sort of a.
Well, Sharon was her father was their manager.
I did know
Black
that.
Sabbath's manager,
right? And she saw the genius in Ozzy, and took it. But I'm not going to lie. I'll try to be cool. I'm a sideline reporter on Sabbath. AC/DC, Zeppelin, the Stones. I'll get in it.
Yeah.
I'll talk about everything. Sabbath has always been weird to me. They fall in like the same category to me as like Priest. Like I like it, but it never grabbed me. And like
I agree.
Yeah,
it never grabbed me either.
Did Sabbath?
No.
Yeah.
I'm saying like Ozzy Osbourne, his writing later to me when he had Zach Wild and back then, that
even the
that
Randy Rhoads stuff was incredible.
Oh my God!
I grew up.
That was the stuff I first got taken by. Yeah.
I grew up with like "Mom, Coming Home."
Yeah, which is an unbelievable
and Osmosis,
song.
I even liked his later stuff. I'm fine with that, and I think he's a great writer and a great singer. And he was inspired by the Beatles, and I could hear that in his writing. But
did you ever see the video when he meets Paul McCartney?
No, but he adores him. And
did you ever see it?
He was asked, if there was anybody in the world that you could do a song with, who would it be? And it was McCartney, of course.
It's a great video. And Ozzy's in a dressing room.
Yeah.
And McCartney walks in, and then Ozzy's like a little kid.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God.
Right.
And Paul's like, there he is. What's up, crazy guy? Like, Paul's so cool.
Right.
And he's fucking Paul McCartney,
Yeah,
right? It's like,
This is Paul McCartney.
and Ozzy was just like
blown away,
fanboying,
of course.
And I mean, when you see maybe the fifth biggest guy in the world fanboying over number one, it's so powerful.
It's kind of like when I walked in here.
Awesome.
When I walked in here, the reaction you guys had when I walked in, it was kind of similar.
I'm still not over it.
Yes.
Mickey was like, "Oh,
I'm still shaking." I'm still shaking, buddy. Believe me.
So Dave Grohl and his wife made their first public appearance together in almost a year.
Yeah.
Dave Grohl and Jordan Blum made a stylish appearance at the 2025 Wimbledon Tennis Championships in London following Grohl's revelation of fathering a child outside of his marriage.
Yeah.
The couple looked elegant in coordinated outfits. Their outing marked a return to Wimbledon, where they were last seen together the previous year, shortly before Grohl publicly acknowledged his new fatherhood. Despite the challenges, Grohl expressed his commitment to his family and his determination to earn their forgiveness, emphasizing his love for his wife and his 3 daughters.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's the hardest thing in the world to overcome is betrayal or whatever you want to call it, right? I've been guilty of it. I've had it happen.
Yeah, it's brutal. That's even more than betray. I mean, it's like
it's brutal.
He betrayed, and then there's a kid that's gonna.
Well,
the reminder.
Yeah.
You know,
brutal.
And in that situation, do you judge the wife if she says, I understand you have to have a relationship with her. I don't want her around the house and in our family events. Like, that's a weird, it's like, can you blame that woman? Then at the same time, if she's like, well, that's your child. It's my, I love her. Like it's a terrible situation to be in. And you hope that it was, like you said, it was a moment of weakness. And I'm sorry. It's hard enough as a man when we're all attracted to all women. We can't help it. You look at a woman and you go, wow, she's beautiful, right? Then you add the fact that those same women walk right up to you and say, what do you want? Right now, I'll do it. It takes it. I'm not making excuses. I swear. I'm just saying it's a very, very complicated, horrible thing. But I do think love can overcome it.
Absolutely.
I do think
but it
love can overcome it.
It reminds me of the Chris Rock saying, a man's only as faithful as his choices.
Yeah,
Talking about Tiger Woods.
Right, yeah. But I'll tell you, man, on a very, very, you know what? I don't blame people. I understand weakness. I do. I understand it. It's terrible. It hurts,
man.
But I think, you could never imagine doing it. That's
well,
just
I just feel like, why would you get married if that's
right.
what's going to happen?
And you got Bon Jovi and people like that have been, he's been with his wife forever, right?
Well,
did they break up?
No, they didn't break up, but he recently came out, I guess it was a few years ago, and confessed to being unfaithful over the years.
You just ruined
Listen,
my one example.
I know.
Listen.
Because I felt like you for the longest time. I was like, wow, Bon Jovi, they've been married since before he was famous.
And he was one of them, he could have done whatever. He was the man.
Right.
He could have had any famous woman.
Yeah. He did.
Yeah, and he did.
Oh, he did.
Well,
wow.
let's listen. Look, I mean, God, I'm going to eat shit for this. When that is one of the hardest things for any human, and I think men have this way worse than women, just because of how we're programmed anatomically, not anatomically, just biologically, the way we are programmed, men, and then that is constantly put in front of you. It is so hard for any human that is just, it's constantly there. Every day of your life, every woman around you would have sex with you or do anything you want. It's hard to judge anyone like that because none of us have ever experienced that, where you literally walk in a room and every woman would disappear with you for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, for a lifetime. I'm just saying, psychologically, it's fame brings weird shit that's not.
So he gets a pass for that?
I'm not saying he gets a pass. I hear
what you're saying.
I'm saying that any woman that marries a man like that has to, in the back of her mind, know this is happening. Then I think before you even marry that person, you have to be able to say to yourself, could I forgive this person because of a moment of weakness, because of the situation they're in?
You mean his wife should have kind of known
known's
work
not
he
the
was
right
in?
word, but should not have been shocked, should not have been you know.
No, I'm saying she should have understood.
So brutal.
She should have understood. You're saying that there's a chance for this temptation to enter into their marriage.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not a free pass. It's not.
Yeah.
You know, if you tell a woman I'm marrying you and you're the only woman I want to be with the rest of my life, that means something.
Yeah.
At the same time, that woman also, I think, or man, depending, you know, it's just much rarer the other way. I think that other person would have to say to themselves, I know you mean what you're saying, but I also know that you're going to be surrounded by it 24/7, and it's on the table all the time. I have to live with that.
Can I say a fix for this? And I've done this. Just marry the most beautiful woman in the world. Hey,
listen to you. I love that though. And then listen.
No, I think I did, at least in my mind.
That's good.
So
You
It
did,
helps.
and
You
so
win.
did I.
It
I
helps.
feel the same way.
We
Yeah.
all did, didn't we?
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, of course. But none of us.
I hear what you're saying, man.
None of
I
us
do.
are fucking Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
None of us walk through an airport and 15 women turn around and start following us.
Right.
That shit doesn't happen to us.
You're just saying I'm imagining this.
Yes, Matt. It's all in your imagination.
Matt's like, speak for yourself.
So, you know, a guy I love who takes a lot of flack, man, is Post Malone.
I like
but,
that
but
guy.
I think
Yeah,
he's
he's
such
great.
a genuine, cool dude.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I also think that he is an incredible musician who appreciates just a wide range of different music.
That's where music is heading, by the way.
Yeah.
Genres are going to kind of start to disappear,
Yeah.
and you're going to see new shit. Like guys like you, dude.
Authenticity is
Yeah.
key.
Red Clay Strays. Look them up, Matt.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You like 'em?
Alabama. Oh yeah, I've loved them for a long time.
Dude.
I think just seriously, like even in country, right? And I'm sorry to differ from this, but I think what I see, the artists that are coming out now that I like, and there's a movement. It's just really authentic. Like if you remember who was the Oliver Anthony came out, and it was just him and a guitar. It's super authentic.
Yeah.
Tyler Childers. There's all these guys. Sturgill Simpsons. They're not singing that overproduced.
Now
their
their
pop and
melodies
country.
and their
yeah, pop
stories.
country. Right. It's like super authentic, and
Yeah.
I think people are craving that so much now. So
Yeah.
and the Red Clay Strays. I mean that they are the embodiment of that. Their
Dude.
songwriting is incredible. His voice is incredible. If anybody has never heard of them,
Dude, this is
Mickey's been telling us for months.
Oh, yeah.
People that check.
They're
it out.
I
incredible.
am such a fan
Yeah.
of them, and
yeah,
I mean,
great.
ain't no bangers. You know, they ain't writing. You know,
Pop
rock-
hits. or,
No, I
yeah,
don't. I mean,
hooks.
like
not like
no. I
hooks.
mean, like there's not a whole lot of 140 beats a minute. It's know,
Yeah.
it's slow. It's
Yeah.
authentic. It's wonderful storytelling.
Soulful, very soulful,
man.
Yeah,
And to hear that combined with that Americana and the country
yeah.
and the R&B, like all coming together.
That's what I'm into.
Yeah,
very much.
Dude,
so,
that
yeah.
guy to me is like Elvis.
Yeah,
That's who he reminds me of.
yeah.
A young Elvis that had all that gospel influence
Yep.
and all that, early rock and roll, black blues rock and roll that produced Elvis.
Yeah, I think you should be their manager, dude. I
Red
really
Clay,
do.
I think
Yeah.
they're doing all right. They're opening
I think they're
for the
they're all
fucking
right.
Stones.
Yeah.
No, but he's their hype man for sure. He
I
has
love
been
him.
for a long time.
I wrote him a letter asking if he would do the show.
Did you?
And then the next day I read they were opening for the Stones, and I'm like, probably not going to call
Yeah.
me back.
We'll
But
see.
if I ever
One
cross
day,
his,
Mick.
if
One
I
day.
if I ever cross his path, I have all these shows on record that I can show him, dude.
Right.
I
Been
was
singing
I,
your
pumped
praises
you.
for a long
Yeah,
time.
I was a follower under 100,000. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Back to Post Malone.
Yep.
I think he's a great guy. He takes a lot. People make fun of him a lot. I feel
Yep.
like, but not that he doesn't have an amazing fan base. But this just warms the heart too. He just left a huge tip at a bar in Phoenix that can pay the bills of 15 staff members this month. So he walked into a dive bar right after his Phoenix tour stop, rolled up into the bar around 1 a.m., took pictures, talked with fans, treated everyone like old friends. But the real jaw dropper was the tip he left. He said one bartender said it was enough for all 15 staff members to pay their bills this month. And apparently this isn't the first time he's done this either. He once dropped $20,000 on a Christmas Eve bartender as well. Yeah, he's always
tell you
just bringing the
No, I
good
think
vibes,
the
man.
story, though, I read that story. The bartender said it would have been enough, but it was just enough to buy him a boat. So,
Yeah. You know the crazy thing about that? Like when I was doing really good, I love to give it away, right? In fact, I gave it all away. But guys like that, I mean, that guy's probably making, if I had to guess at this point in his career, 15, 20 million a year that he's literally bringing home.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Say he gives away $1 million. Is he hurting?
Right.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
but when you give away $1 million, you're changing lives.
Changing lives, and you know that.
And you
that
feel
does
good
something for
yourself.
You.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. It fills you so much.
Look, you
Of
walk
course.
into an arena, and the check at the end of the night's 1.2 million for a night, the gate. You're okay. And you walk into a bar that night, and you tip them 50 grand, right?
Yeah.
You still made 1.950 or whatever it is.
Sure.
And let's be real, that's all we can really do is just give it all away anyway, right?
Well,
I mean,
100%.
Speaking of
Yeah.
this, I did want to mention this on the podcast, and I think this is a good time. We can all give, right? We can all give in our own ways. And one of the shows I just recently played, there's a charity called Building Families for Children. I just did a charity event for them on Friday. And I played with like former American Idol winners, Phil Stacey and his daughter, Michaela, which is so cool, man. These people are the kindest, nicest people. And what a great charity. It helps. It's right here in Baltimore City. It helps displaced families. You know, they find homes for them basically. And it's just a great organization. And they came out of their own budget, you know, to fly in and do this show. And
what are they called?
I'm sorry?
What's the charity called?
Oh, Building Families for Children.
Building Families. That's
Yes.
cool.
That's
Yes.
a great charity.
So it is a great charity. And you see some of these stories of, anyway, I didn't mean to derail that, but the
Too
point
late.
I'm trying to make is, the point I'm trying to make is that, you know, everybody can give something. Like Post Malone can give $1 million, but that guy, you know, I don't know what his financial situation, but he can give that. And me, I just live local and I can give. So we can all give in our own ways. And you're right. That will fill you more than the thing you're doing most of the time.
Absolutely.
Or what you're going to spend it on
And
yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100% believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So Joe Perry is on an upcoming Hollywood Vampires documentary. He's been talking about it, and he says it's going to be amazing. He mentioned that the band is working on a documentary that he is putting together. Perry praised the band and expressed a desire for them to play together again in the future. The documentary is titled Unleash Spirits, The Rise of the Hollywood Vampires, and it will provide insight into the band's formation and impact. Hollywood Vampires includes Alice Cooper and Johnny Depp.
Yep.
And they just released their sophomore album, Rise, in 2019, featuring original material and covers of songs by legendary rockers. I think it'd be a cool documentary to see.
I agree with you. And I like the concept of Johnny Depp's band.
Yeah.
I do.
I do too.
You know, and, you know,
Well, you know, he was a
he's
musician
really
first.
good guitar player.
He was
by the way.
he was
Is
a
he?
band guy
Yeah.
first, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like a true blues rock worshiper. I
Yeah.
mean, all the right guys, you know.
Interesting story. My uncle owned Ted's Music in Baltimore City.
No way.
Yeah. And
Wow.
when Johnny Depp was filming Cry Baby,
Crybaby.
he came in and bought a guitar from him, and he always
No
had a
kidding.
picture of Johnny Depp.
Dude,
you know,
in
on
the
his-
early days.
Yeah. So
Wow.
I always thought that was cool. But anyway, that's how
No,
long
that's
his
incredible. I never
Yeah.
knew that.
It is,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, he was originally out in Hollywood trying to make it as a musician.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just, I think he kind of fell into acting.
Well,
didn't he?
it's a funny story, actually. I just saw it recently. I forget what
Yeah.
show he's on. He tells the story. He goes, it was Conan. Conan said, so you first moved to LA to be an actor.
Yeah.
And
You know, to be a musician.
I mean, be a musician. And Johnny goes, yeah, you know, I moved out to LA. That's where you went. And he goes, why'd you end up an actor? He goes, well, you have to pay bills eventually.
right.
It's
That's
usually the other way
totally
around,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah. Same with Billy Bob Thornton. Same
Exactly,
thing. He
yep.
was a musician, and then
Bruce
yeah.
Willis, another one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yep, Bruce Willis.
That's
Wow.
sad for music, and everybody's
Yeah.
just like, I
Fuck
gotta,
this.
yeah.
That made somebody really mad. Just
Yeah,
now.
let me go do Friday the 13th number one. No, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Right.
Which one was his first movie?
It-
Friday
it
the
was-
13th.
It was Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh,
wasn't
Nightmare
it?
on Elm Street.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah.
yeah.
He's the kid that he's the kid that gets killed in the bed, right?
Yeah.
In the
Yeah.
beginning, I think, or at the end, whatever it is. Yeah. I'm big. I like Johnny Depp.
Me too.
Always have.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
I think
man?
he's fucking one of the best actors I've ever seen.
Yes.
He is,
And
man.
he's just cool. You know what he is?
I like almost everything.
He's
does.
literally the
Yes.
American Keith Richards to me.
Yeah.
Everything he does is just cool as
Well,
shit.
you know, he
Yeah.
modeled Keith
Yes.
Richards for the pirate
yeah,
movies.
Yeah.
Jack
Yeah.
Sparrow
For
is
Jack-
Keith
is
Richards.
Keith Richards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great,
Exactly.
man.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. So Ringo Starr says he still feels 24 when he looks in the mirror. He says, I never got older. He's going to be 85 on Monday.
Yep.
This is a picture of him. Picture of him from this year. I think
84. Look at that guy.
I mean, that's March of this year, 2025.
That's ridiculous.
He says it's potatoes and happiness.
Yes.
Callback.
Actually, he says he maintains his vitality by doing what he loves, which is making music, of course. He released his latest album, Look Up, in January. And, you know, we're going to probably see him tour again, which is amazing. At 85, did you ever think we'd be watching rock bands at 85?
Well, you remember Mick Jagger was actually asked that question.
I do. When he was like
He's
in
like
his
22.
20s. Yeah.
And he goes, can you picture doing this
In your 30s.
in your 30s? And
Right.
he goes, yeah. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I'll do
Who-
this.
no, Mick Jagger. You know what he said to that? He said, no, man, this is a young man's.
Oh, no.
business.
That
He
was a
said that.
different, that's
Yeah.
a different thing.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the very first time. Did you ever see that one, the British guy, where he kind of like tries to make fun of him? And the guy goes, you know, can you do this, you know, in your 50s? I think that was 50s. And it's very early. And
No,
he goes,
he asked him if he was in his. He asked him if he was in his. He said, "Can you see yourself doing this when you're in your 30s?" And he's like, "This is a young man's business."
see,
no
I saw
way.
it. I'll send you the one I'm talking
and here
about.
he is, 80 years old,
Yeah.
still touring the world with the Rolling Stones.
And,
I mean,
and maybe the best guy in front of a band.
Yeah.
outrunning 20-year-olds on
Moves
stage.
like
man.
Jagger, right?
Let me
Yeah,
ask you
yeah.
guys a question. In your lifetime, have you ever seen a better front man? I have one guy that I put on the list.
No, he's phenomenal, man. He's
One
phenomenal.
guy I
Yeah,
think
let's
challenges him.
give it to me. Who is it?
Freddie Mercury.
Oh, God, well, yeah. I totally forgot about him.
It's
Yeah.
the
Well,
only
you know,
guy that
and
I go,
If you're gonna leverage the vocals in, I would say that for sure.
We're talking bands or just frontman, period?
just band, a guy that fronts a band.
You're not
Yeah.
talking about singer. You're talking about
No,
front man.
A front man. David Lee Roth is 1B to me. It's
Yeah,
Freddie
he's a
and
phenomenal.
Freddie's
yeah.
got the voice, though, over...
Freddie and
that.
Mick are number
Right,
one.
but you
Yeah.
can't put the voice in the mix if we're just talking about front man.
Right,
Who's
right.
the better front man?
I
Yeah.
don't know. Freddie's
And
incredible.
I would probably say Mick Jagger, and like you
I
said,
think-
like David Lee Roth, one
I
of
get
those
it.
guys.
And
Yeah.
From my generation, I might get some flack for this, but Scott Weiland.
Oh yeah.
Scott
absolutely.
Weiland to me was awesome.
He was
Absolutely.
awesome.
And I
But
just...
he's not a David Lee Roth
No.
or
Or Freddie Mercury.
I don't know.
No
he's,
way.
he's pretty entertaining,
Yeah,
man.
not like those guys.
Freddie Mercury, though, to me, yeah. I mean, he has that...
He's the
big-
guy,
Yeah,
right?
he's the guy.
I'm with you.
He's
To
the
me,
guy.
I just don't. Me and my son play this game all the time. We go, okay, 5-piece band, no keyboards.
Loaded up.
Who you got?
Yeah, yeah.
And then we start.
That's
And-
awesome.
And it's like inevitably we get to the singer and he's like McCartney, and I go Mercury, and he goes, yeah, and we're both just like, and then he'll go, wait, I'm gonna put McCartney on bass,
Right.
and then I'm gonna, and it's like I love those discussions,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
Matt, great job. Listen, bro.
Hey,
I
thank
did
you.
not know what to expect with this show. You know what I mean? And one of my favorite shows, man. Sincerely.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
really
you.
glad I got to know you today
Thank you,
and
man.
learn more about you as an artist and a guy. Matt, thanks for making this happen. Normally, I'm the guy trying to call everybody, hey, come down to our stupid show. And Matt's like, I got a guy. And I'm like, all right, yeah, let's see what happens.
Well, tell us where people can find you.
do that
and
again.
where's the best place to find about you and your music?
I just want to say too, real quick, that I'm humbled by the fact that you called me, and I had a great time too, man. This was great, and I'm serious. If you need a side host as well, anytime,
yeah,
I
we're
would
going to
love
talk
to do
about
that. But yeah, I just want to real quick just give some dates. My wife would kill me. She's my booking agent. So let me see. Sorry. Thursday, I will be at Bronson Beer Hall in Arlington, Virginia. Saturday, I will be at Old Salty's Fishing Creek, Maryland. It's very far from here. I'm sorry. Sunday, July 13th, Bridges in Kent Narrow, Graysonville, Maryland. Friday, July 18th, I will be at Harpoon Hannah's in Fenwick, Delaware. Saturday, I will be at Shore Resort in Ocean City, Maryland. That's Saturday, July 19th. Sorry, two more. Saturday, July 26th, I will be at the Broken Oar in Glen Burnie, Maryland. Great place. And Thursday, July 31st, I will be at Leland's in Ellicott City, Maryland.
You are booked, man. You have the wife booking you now?
I do.
All
And
right.
she tells me what to do. And
I got to
Yeah.
say something. I'm listening to your schedule, right? And I'm
Yep.
figuring out geographically what you're doing.
Yeah.
You need to move. I need to get you into like up in Harford County, and there's a big thing happening up there right now. And there's
Absolutely.
some venues I think you would be incredible at.
I love
Yeah.
it.
So
I love it.
before
A
you
bit
leave,
of a hike for you, but you don't mind the drive.
No,
do
it's
you?
actually not. And,
Where do
and
you
what
live?
I do, what I do is I look at my. I live in Hampstead, Maryland, and I do an hour and a half circle around
it's
my
way
house.
in
Yeah.
that.
So I'm traveling everywhere,
Yep.
and dude, I'm telling you, it's picking up steam. I'm starting to get people at my shows that I don't know, and that's always
that's
good.
the sign of success.
That's the sign. I know, and I
Yeah.
did it with my other bands. It takes time though, and I would implore anyone who's a fan of what you heard today, or if you're just curious, it's Anthony Hurley Music on Instagram, Facebook. I have a TikTok that I'm almost every day on, and then my YouTube channel as well. And once again, thank you guys so
No,
much.
thank
I'm
you.
humbled
Our
by
pleasure,
you guys
man.
having
Our
me.
pleasure. So please come back.
Continued success. You'll be back on and very soon. And good luck with everything, man.
Thank you, brother.
And tell your wife she's a phenomenal woman because I can see it in your eyes.
Thank you, man.
You know what I mean? All right, Matt. Great show today.
Yeah, man.
Really good. Tomorrow, you son of a bitch.
Why?
You're
Why?
abandoned-
Why?
You're abandoning ship. I got to sail by myself.
I didn't know you were going to be working on the 4th of July.
Matt, listen,
Yeah.
I have no life. So 5 days a week, I get to do something.
He's
Yeah.
doing it for America.
I'm doing it for me. I'm doing it for me.
America.
Anyway, I will be at Natalie's tomorrow afternoon. I'm going to be doing a show that is just freeform,
Yeah.
yelling to people to come over. It's just going to be me being me.
Buying
So,
martinis
yeah.
with
The diamond necklaces.
no big deal.
Yeah. Matt, enjoy your weekend. Happy 4th
You too,
of
man.
July.
Happy 4th.
Happy
too.
4th to you, bro.
You guys too.
I'll see you guys tomorrow at 5 by myself or maybe with 20 people. We'll see how it goes. Bye, everybody. Thank you.